Here we are in our usual Thursday night location, at our usual Thursday night time, with our usual Thursday night technical problems. I don't know what's going on because here I am, 100% all ready, but the players don't seem to be in fantasy grounds for some mysterious reason.
Give me a minute.
I'm there. I'm just waiting for your computer to catch up.
It's really true.
Yeah, we're waiting on your computer to answer our call.
My computer's actually fine.
Card.
I'm
What's
in.
your RAM?
I'm in.
No, you need more RAM.
I have plenty of RAM.
No, not you. John needs more RAM. You need a sound card.
Look,
John's looking at something that has 32 RAM. That's insane.
Yeah.
Roy needs 2 sound blankets at 90-degree angles.
Only if he has L there.
Oh man, is
He
it
doesn't
too
need
early?
that because he got Fantasy Grounds up.
God, is it too early for bourbon? Oh God.
No,
No, I
Oh
started.
no.
not for you alcoholics.
Yeah.
Whoa. There's that judginess again.
Judgy
Oh,
McJudgerson.
If
It's gonna be a judgy night. Oh my god.
There's always time for lube.
if I'm not judging, I'm not breathing.
All right, let me see. I gotta tune into
don't like
Twitch. Who else is tuning? Paul, you tuning into Twitch to see how we're doing?
Oh god. Do I have to?
You don't have to, but it'd be great if you did. Somebody should.
Now it's making echo.
No, you have to
It's
mute
coming
it.
up live right now.
Yeah, so we should be there. All right, so here we are in our Thursday night freaking edition. Good Lord, man. All right, so this is probably an appropriate way to start the night because the party is in about the same situation as our technical stuff is.
Hey, Roy,
Yeah.
can you move Gerald's camera on OBS behind the overlay?
Yeah, I had to add him in new. Actually, good call. There we go.
Aside
Yeah,
from that, it looks fine.
yeah. His of all of our things, his thing got. It didn't work this week, so there we go. All right, excellent. Now you guys look beautiful.
Oh.
Okay, so, whew. What a crazy start. Last week, I'm gonna tell this for the viewers at home. If you guys have not watched last week's episode, go do it now. At least
No.
skim through like the last
busy.
hour and a half, 2 hours for that episode. I'm telling you, it's good stuff. And if you haven't followed the story to that point, you're going to be a little bit lost as far as this goes. The TLDR version of that is that the party succeeded in finding the black orchid that they were looking for because the Arakocra that they met offered them the gift of flight such that they could fly for days on end or whatever they were. There was actually some discussion about that. Anyway, when they came back to do the ceremony, serendipitously, perhaps, Alessandra recommended that they leave the next morning rather than that evening, as Ashara intended to. Ashara being the leader of the Arakocra that they'd met. That bit of serendipity led to Restanos casting some spells and getting in touch with the princess, this 17-year-old Chultan woman, who...
Maybe the queen.
Well, yeah, she's a princess of Omu, whatever Omu may be. And they ended up hooking up that night, and the next morning, the princess professed her undying devotion to Restanos, who reciprocated that emotion, much to the surprise and chagrin of Ashara and the healing cleric of Lathander, Rafina, the mother of the party. So there's a bit of a tiny, small disagreement in the party last week, where Rafina and Ashara, the leader of these Arakocra, were very, very, very upset with both Rastalnos and the princess for being stupid young kids, letting their genitals rule their thinking. Other members of the party, like Grey Petal, sort of championed the cause of these children. I think to make the case that people should make their own decisions and free will is important, and living a life sheltered and sort of stuck in a cave or whatever is hardly worth living. So I think maybe this week we'll sort of we had a lot of offline conversation about this, so I want to sort of capture that offline conversation, but in a way that moves the story. So maybe each player can take their and give their elevator spiel about the situation. We can start with Rafina, since you're first on my feed. Give us your
with Raz, because he's the one that and the princess with the undying love such.
okay.
So I would say that no, Rafina's the better
elevator
place
speech is
to
like
start.
a 15-second thing.
Yeah, so Rastanos has been looking for love, and in Rastanos' eyes, at the beginning of the adventure, Grey Petal was flirty, and we got along really great until Grey Petal went rogue and went up to the manor house, and then after that, Rastanos was like, "Yeah, that's a nightmare waiting to happen." So Rastanos didn't pursue Grey Petal, and I think our players are playing with a lot of out of character knowledge because Rastanos, the character, hasn't made open advances towards Alessandra. Although Rastanos journaled a lot about Alessandra, you guys are saying, this character has jumped after everything with a hole in a heartbeat. And in truth, Rastanos has only actually flirted with Grey Petal and hasn't done that for a very long time. He hasn't actually pursued in any real tangible manner Alessandra. Had Although he had an interest, and you guys know he had an interest in Azaka, he hasn't pursued Azaka. And so there's a lot of coloring of our conversation that's talking about Rastanos as a whore who's chasing after everything with a split tail. You guys are coloring that when the fact of it is that Rastanos, the character, is not like Elliot, the player, who is controlling Rastanos. And I think that that's kind of damaging our role playing in that regard. So Rastanos, who has shown a lot of affection in his writing towards various females and determined that they weren't the right path for him, and moved on, and then found somebody who did reciprocate, somebody who did in fact accept and return his affections. Now they may both be naive and young, and they're 21 and 17, and the oldest member of our party is 22, and the youngest member of our party is I don't know, 16. We're dealing with a very young group of college kids who think that they have all the answers, but in the truth of it, they're still college aged kids. In our 40-year-old player knowledge, we know that they're all fucking idiots. But I'm playing Rastanos as somebody who is genuine, somebody who is looking for love and feels like he has found it finally, and it's finally been returned. It's been requited by Mwaxanari. So that's where I am with this. And I've got all these people who were my friends who I've never doubted, I've never given them any cause to doubt me, are making some very ugly comments. And I've got all the hot-headedness of a, grandson of a demon, to be honest. And so I'm just fucking pissed. I'm chaotic good. It's a good character, and he is fucking pissed. He is scorned. He's just been completely betrayed by everybody who he held dear. And not really everybody, because GP is somewhat supportive. Sashira is saying, I support you, I don't support her. Fine, that's fair. And Alessandra is condescendingly saying, "Sure, this is a great idea," And then you got Rafina, who is just basically being um, derogatory, antagonistic, and hateful, speaking hatefully about Rastanos and his slit lust and his thinking with his dick and not his brain, and he's got zero tolerance for that.
All right. So that was more than 15 seconds.
Oh,
Yeah.
time.
There was I think this is what I sort of talked about earlier. I got to meta this a little bit, sorry. In our pregame, where we have to sort of separate out what a character might think and what I might think, right? And so there was some he feels scorned, and there was some I feel scorned, right? So, all right. So, I would posit that Rastalnos may feel like he has been a very, very virtuous kind of person looking for love in different places. I think that there's a lot of data to support the idea that Rastalnos has mostly chased all the hot chicks in the game and has been refused sort of time and time again. I think that had any of those opportunities given Rastalnos permission, he would have gladly jumped into anything that would have led him. I think. So I think that, I think it's fair for Rastalnos to feel scorned and betrayed, but I also think it's very fair if the party looks at Rastalnos and looks at his past and his commentary and those things, and the people who know Rastalnos know him as someone who chases all the girls. Like, he's sort of acted out that persona. Am I mischaracterizing that, or is there any sort of consensus that thinks that might be a sort of a?
In my thought, that's not a correct characterization.
I understand that. Anybody else? The fans at home.
I'll talk not as a Rafina argument against, but a few points that stand out in my mind is when Rask was even flirting up Gerda, the dwarf.
I never flirted with her.
Pulp.
No, I never flirted with her. I was trying to create an alliance so that she would watch our backs. I never made any sexual advances or beautiful or anything.
I definitely don't want to get into any of that stuff. I just want to sort of.
Those are important facts.
Yeah. Well, as a meta, I would like to sort of say, am I the only one who thinks that? Okay, me and John. Are me and John the only one who thinks that Rask has basically been sort of throwing himself at kind of all the hot females throughout the story, or most of the hot females in the story, NPCs, Grey Petal, Alessandra, Azaka. He's sort of
definitely Azaka
made a lot of overtures to those women, and he would have
a Medusa,
and he would have.
He did not make any overtures at the Medusa. He has flirted.
Well, remember the Medusa was sort of like
to flirt with Azaka. He has attempted to flirt with Alessandra.
Did flirt with Grey Petal.
Yeah, but that was.
I don't remember far enough back to address whether or not the dwarf was flirted with, but
what?
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to make this a he said she said. What I'm trying to do is establish. I'm trying to establish legitimacy of perspective, right? So Rafina has this perspective that Rastalnos is just this rapscallion, right? He is this sailor. He's this person who is chasing whatever tail he can get, and that's Rafina's perspective. I think that's a fair perspective for Rafina to have, right? Now, how Rafina acts on that, fine.
Personally,
Rastalnos feels like he's been, and he has, right? Rastalnos has been a very upstanding, very honest, very genuine person. Chasing,
that is also true.
Yeah, chasing thing to thing. So for Rastalnos himself to say, hey, I feel persecuted because, I finally found my love, and you guys are like, oh, you're just jumped into the first person who said yes. Well, both of those things can be true, right? Rastalnos finally found his love, according to Rastalnos. But Ristanos did jump into the first thing that said yes. Like every other thing in the game has rejected him until this point. And the first thing that allowed him to, he did indeed jump into and fell in love with
But
it.
that doesn't actually nullify his genuineness or the fact that he was just looking for love.
Totally
He
agree.
has just been putting himself out
Agreed.
there
I agree.
and has not. So to call it any vulgar words or anything like that is not actually accurate, so much as he's really just been putting himself out there and has been being shut down. And now he's young, he found himself a relationship, and now he's in love. That's a thing that happens.
Yeah, I love it.
So,
I think it's great.
and I think it is genuine in its own way.
I think as far as role playing goes, even if
But I
there
think
is wrong perspectives in the party about what he is or isn't doing, it doesn't matter. We're all playing characters with flaws. So even if we had all the evidence and we didn't pick up on it, or we made something out of the evidence that didn't exist, it doesn't matter. We're all seeing this from different perspectives. A teenager.
well, it's
like,
a
suddenly
question
dating
of
somebody,
whether or not the perspectives that we currently have and are acting on are in-game perspectives or are based on metagaming aspects.
Well, let's
Things
get
like the journals where he writes about Alessandra. That's one thing, and that doesn't actually come into play. But the dancing in the rain and the stuff that happened in the tavern back in Phandalin, those were flirty aspects. They were. And I would have seen it as such. And if Rafina saw it, she can act on it like she thinks that his behavior is going for the illicit instead of the purity that Rastalno sees himself as. So I think both of those perspectives are correct. And I don't think that necessarily they're metagaming. Elliot, do you hear what I'm saying? Do you agree?
That sounds good. And
And that way we can state that even though you both have very strong feelings about the relationship that's blossoming, they're not wrong. They're not metagaming, and we could move on from there.
Yeah, that's a good point to move on from. So let's open the scene. We're not done with this. Let's open the scene. We are in a large house on the side of a cliff that is very, very difficult to get to. It's hundreds of feet up on this cliff. This is basically a cliffside monastery inhabited by Arakakra, who live much like we might imagine monks live. And the party is in this large room, and there is this scene where we can imagine that there is this very elder Arakakra, Ashara, who is standing side by side with Rafina, and they're both like pointing their fingers, arguing or looking at the young couple across from them, Rastalnos, the tiefling, and Princess Mawaxanare. There's actually an extra syllable in there, by the way, Mawaxanare.
I have been problems saying that. Okay.
Yeah, it's really hard. Mawaxanare. They're sitting there with their arms around each other, expressing their love. GP is sort of near them, looking at them, saying, "This is love. This must be encouraged." Alessandra is talking. Azaka is sitting to a side of the room, sort of lazily sitting in the side, chewing on the leg bone of some small animal that no one remembers catching. Watching all this, shaking her head. Sashira is in the middle of all of them, trying to bring all the entities together to keep the family together. Finally, Ashara sort of looks around and she wraps her staff on the ground and she says, "That is enough. Sit, all of you." And the maternal command in her voice sort of immediately stops all conversation, and you all sit at the table or around this sort of low table, and she says, "So, this is the decision that I must make. I do not approve of this union." And she glares angrily at Rastalnos. "However, the union is done, and the past is the past, and we must move forward. Now I must decide. Are you still worthy of the gift of flight? Or would that be me contributing to the death of my dear princess?" And Mox Nauer sort of looks at her with this sort of her lip starts quivering a bit as she kind of looks down and can't quite make eye contact with Ashara. And Ashara, she says, "Each of you shall have half of 1 minute to make your case." Sashira, you seem to be the most neutral in all of this. What should I do?
You should go this flight because Soulmonger is more important than anything. Now, whether she travels with us or not, that is up to her, I believe. I don't think she should. She's probably going to die. It's going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible for Brass. It's going to be horrible for her. It's going to be horrible for us. We have to watch it. But if she wants to go, she can be allowed. And I think, well, the most important thing here is for her to realize that love can go on if Ras comes back. If this is indeed love. If it's not, well, hey, things happen.
Thank you. Thank you for saying nothing. Very well. Tabaxi, perhaps you have some wise input we could all make use of.
For the record, what exactly is the question?
What should I do with this?
Well, I'm of kind of two minds. If I were in your position, I would deny us the gift of flight. If I were in your shoes. However, you did make a promise, and you ought not break your promises. We did what you asked us to do. We returned we've rescued your guy, whatever his name was. We returned the Black Rose thing. You should carry through with your promises. As far as Moaxinariga and Rastalnos, that's kind of none of your business.
Until that point, I was celebrating your wisdom. I am her. She is my charge, and it is my duty
right.
to ensure she is safe.
To set boundaries. You should absolutely set boundaries. You should absolutely forbid Moaxinari from coming with us. Absolutely.
This tabaxi is slippery.
Perhaps you should even enforce your will by force. That's also within your purview.
Oh, do not worry. I have thought of this. Thank you for your counsel, Grey Petal. Rafina, wise cleric of the healer Lathander. What is your counsel?
Well, I think we need to stop the soulmonger. That is a definite point. Because if anybody dies, we can't bring anybody back. Until whatever that is either defeated, destroyed, or removed. I do not agree with this union between Rastalnos and Moaxinari with bringing her. I don't mind them being in love, but I do not think she's safe on this type of mission. We don't even know if we'll come back alive. Why would we bring her, who's untrained, into this? I don't see a reason to bring her, without the training that we've had so far. Their love may be genuine. I don't know. That I can't say. I've watched Rastalnos flirt a lot with a lot of different females,
And I kind of have to like sit
and
for
you know, it is possibly is completely in love with Waxanari, and she with him. I can't say. I mean, if she's to go with it, you know, go as a whole group with us, I'd like to at least see them prove this to me by some sort of formal union.
Hmm.
Because I guess we can't stop the princess, because at some point she'll run off on her own, stupidly, you know, being young.
Yes, I am well aware of the young being foolhardy. This union, this is an interesting idea. Rastanos, what do you think of this union between you and your love, and whether or not I should bequeath upon you the gift of flight?
Well, it's not the way of my people to have these formalized unions. It's a big. It's,
She means this big humph.
the last contract any tiefling ever made was with Asmodeus himself. The tiefling are more concerned with being true to their word and not being bound by some script. As for the gift of flight, I care not.
I see. So you don't.
We'll do what we're supposed to do to try to save the world with or without your help.
But you would not consent to any sort of formal bond between you and your lover. Maxinari sort of looks at you expectantly.
We're already bound. It doesn't matter what words you want to say over it.
They didn't use a fig leaf.
Ah, well, very well. Alessandra, do you have any wisdom that could help
I
the
would like to
situation?
think that I do. I can't say whether or not that's actually true, but I think you're looking at this as a single piece, and it's actually two separate issues. The first being the gift of flight. Now, whether or not Mwaxanari comes with us, we we came here in good faith, taking time out of our journey in order to get this gift from you, hopefully to aid in saving the world. So to put us through these trials, and then once that's completed, to deny us, I feel would be wrong.
She nods at this.
And then at the same time, if you come at it from the perspective of would that be aiding in getting Mwaxanari killed, I would say that not giving us the gift of flight, forcing us to go through the jungle, actually increases the chances of something poor happening to the princess. So either way you look at it, I would say giving us the gift of flight would be beneficial to your own cause. As for Mwaxanari herself and Raskastalnos, well, I agree with what I consider to be the general consensus of the party, in that the jungles, especially on our current quest, are only going to get more dangerous from here. And to have her with us would be to put her in that danger untrained. That doesn't sound like that doesn't sound like something you would do to a person you care about. So, and it doesn't seem like something that if you cared about someone, you would want to put them in the position of. So from Rascalno's side, he doesn't want to see anything happen to the princess, and from the princess's side, she wouldn't necessarily want to put him in the position where if something happened to her, he would be responsible. So really, that just says to me that she should remain, but it is her own choice. She is a princess, and she has to make her own decisions at some point. I have been on the road myself from the age of 16, and obviously I have fared well. Not all who do have, though.
That is indeed good wisdom, and I appreciate it. I appreciate all of your counsels. I agree. The gift of flight is yours. You have earned it, and you shall have it. Woo! I also perhaps have been convinced that Maxinari and Rastalnos have found each other some way or another, and they should not be separated. So, perhaps they should both remain here under our protection. The rest of you can continue in your quest to rid the world of this evil of the soulmonger, and we shall continue our tutelage of the princess and see to the safety of her and Rastalnos. Why, if they are to be together, why do it in the dangers of Chult? Why not do it in the relative safety here in Kir Sabal?
If that were the only issue, I would agree, but it is not.
It is certainly a better option than Rafina quitting.
That's not an option either. This is a battle. I would go to battle for both of them to stay in the party. It's a social battle, but it is a battle. It is one that must be fought, and one that must be fought here. We're doing it calmly, but this is not a calm moment. This is a moment of passion. This is a moment about passion, and this is a moment that will define whether this land survives or not.
Rest. How do your people marry or do that?
We don't. We just commit. When you find my mother and my father were together my whole life, but there was no ceremony. There was no. We let our words be our words and don't rely upon these foolish schemes and dreams of someone else being our accountability. We're accountable to ourselves.
And you would not want to be accountable to yourselves here, where it is safe for you and your beloved. The princess actually looks at you and says, she's seems to be legitimately considering this. She says, actually, I hadn't thought of this.
Who's that?
The princess. She's like, I hadn't thought of this. We could be here safely. Why?
So this tears me apart, Ashara. This tears me apart because I have such a devotion to my friends. Although I'm extremely angry with Rafina at the moment, I do have a deep devotion to my friends, and I don't want them to go out without doing what I can to help them. But I do agree that this is the best place for me and Moaxanari to be safe, and I want to keep her safe. And I don't disagree. The jungle is a dangerous place, and the jungle that we're going to is the most dangerous of the jungles in Chult. We are seeking out the worst of the worst on purpose. We're intentionally.
The princess is cringing.
We're intentionally pursuing the worst that we can find, and And I don't want my friends, my family to go there without giving them my aid. And I don't want to bring my princess into that realm. I believe that some experience in battle it would make her a better ruler. But the places we're going, I don't believe she needs that much experience to be a wise ruler.
Well,
So
then.
I'm torn between staying here with Wax and Ari or between going with Sashira and Rufina and Grey Petal and Alessandra and Azaka.
Oh, yes, and Azaka. Let's not forget Azaka. She stands up and throws this bone to the side. Thank you. Azaka is ready to go. So Ashara, she says, well, we have heard all of our counsels. The gift of flight shall be yours. I have given you my opinion and my wisdom. If you will accept the gift of flight, please enter this circle. And she sort of puts her hands out to all of you. And Princess Maxinari sort of looks at each of you, or looks at you all. She looks at Rafina, knows what Rafina thinks. She looks at Grey Petal questioningly. She looks at Ristalnos. What shall we do?
You must do what you think is right.
Of course.
Of course.
I don't want to see you dead.
I don't want to be dead. But my dear pretty Ristalnos, perhaps we should stay here, Ristalnos. It is safe for us. We can let your friends go. They can get rid of this soulmonger for us. And we can rule Omu and then Cholt. Once this is done, we do not need to risk our lives, throw ourselves upon the merciless jungles of Cholt, the ravages of these undead and unknown horrors.
Omu will never be yours if you're always determined to let other people fight for you.
Isn't that what princesses and royalty do?
I'm
Didn't you
pretty
tell
sure.
us that before, Grey Petal? Did I mishear your words? Something about that is what heroes are for?
I don't know what you're talking about, Rafina.
Curse my stupid past words. Pay no attention to my past self.
Was I caught in some hypocritical point?
No, I don't
I
know.
don't.
Yeah, actually, last thing, I think almost the exact words are, yes, that's what heroes are for. To send out.
Those certainly rulers are known to.
Sometimes kings and queens have to be heroes.
Sometimes those are the best ones, but many are not. Of course, many kings and queens, of course, ensure their reign by letting others sacrifice their lives for them. That may be the status quo, in fact.
No, I think if she stays, she will always be your student.
She's torn. She looks to Rastalnos, her love, for the wisdom. While Rastalnos thinks, this dungeon master is going to go find some wisdom.
Or relieve some pressure.
Take two.
This is a hard decision, man.
Wow, that was an interesting turn of events.
Wait, what happened? Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
it pretty much negated most of what happened the last session. So now we've got 2 sessions sunk in.
Yes.
So whether we're bringing the NPC with us or not.
Can't do it. We just cannot do it. 4 votes.
I thought, no, she's going in. If she wants to go in, she should go in.
Okay, I assume we're going to meta game for a minute while the DM's out.
Exactly.
So very simply, Elliot, what's your plan with this NPC? I mean, I know we're playing the whole love angle, but if you take her, you realize she's probably dead.
Well, so
Power leveler, she's probably dead.
the point is that Rastalnos is genuine. He genuine, but
I read that in the thing, but I mean, understand from what we've seen,
Yeah,
nothing in your journal you've told
look,
us. You
so
just-
yes, so yeah, so the point is Rastanos is faced right now with the decision of he doesn't want to be separated from her.
right?
He recognizes that Rafina's not going to go if she goes. And
Truthfully, you missed the whole discussion on that. The party can probably convince Rafina to go.
well,
Just
okay.
being the soul
So I did miss that whole discussion. Right now, tonight in the game, Rastanos is left with the impression that Rafina's out if Moaxanari goes. Rastanos doesn't want to be separated from Moaxanari, so Rastanos is deciding if he's going to stay here with her so that you stay with the party, or if he's going to go with the party and
But would Rask actually bring her to her death like that? I mean, I understand the whole love thing, the whole love connection going on, but
I honestly think we should probably not metagame this anymore. And I think this is a role-playing conversation where the two of you, the main players in this, can jump in and discuss this in character and figure it out. Because
his philosophy,
I will say that
hasn't changed any though. His philosophy, he's got two deeply seated hang-ups, and one of them is no deceit, and one of them is no control. So, and telling her what she can and can't do, he can be persuasive, and that's why. I never roll deception checks. I never roll intimidation checks. I always roll persuasion checks. And the reason for that is that persuasion is one thing, but saying you're not allowed to come with me is not ever going to be in Rastanos. It's never going to be in his vocabulary to say you can't do something you've chosen to do.
Yeah, but the piece that I didn't understand is, okay, Rask is genuinely in love with the princess, right?
Yeah.
So why would you want to bring her knowing you're
He doesn't want to.
You will die.
I think
more than likely.
This is back to where it should be.
Stop.
Let me get water. I never got anything because we've been talking about this.
Damn
Okay.
it. Wait, what? Wait,
yeah.
GM's lost again.
So
it's being sick.
So just so everybody knows, the prospect of Rask staying also kind of freaks Alessandra out. Like, she's looking more and more apprehensive at the idea that any member of the party leaves the party.
Yeah, that's not a good outcome, no matter what.
No. Sure is absolutely insanely
Okay,
bad
so
about that.
we're going to, I guess, play this out between me and Rask, and I guess
No, not at all.
y'all
You and
will
Rask,
will chime in.
I think you and Rask are done.
Fine, but please realize that Elliot cannot be more clear about his point of view. John, you keep asking the same question.
Yeah.
And Elliot has answered it 6 times now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I think
only thing I
Rafina.
know is, why didn't you try to persuade her to stay?
It
Just
doesn't
that he
matter.
wanted
So-
to?
He just told
Rafi-
you
That he doesn't
Yeah,
want to be
Rafina-
away from her.
he does not want to control her. He wants her to make her own decision.
So at this,
That's not
wait,
telling her, Gerald.
but it doesn't.
He's answering your question though, John.
If I may, so, Ashara is ready to perform the ritual, and the princess is looking to Rastalnos for his guidance in what they should do, what she should do, they should do, we should do. I don't know. Rastalnos, what words do you have for the princess?
Princess, I don't want to be away from you. I don't want,
Nor are you.
and I don't want to put you in danger, and I don't want to betray my friends. So I'm at a crossroads where I just don't know what I should do. So I want to ask you, do you truly want to undertake this great peril?
No.
And I don't think you understand just how ugly it is.
Rastalnos, my world could never be ugly so long as I am by your side. You shall bring all the light that I need in this world. You have promised me you will keep me safe, have you not?
No, I have not.
What? Wait, what?
I will do my best, but my best isn't good enough without the help of my friends.
I gave my
Mr.
best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough. So here I am right where I was.
Are we able to mute that? Are we able to? We've got some feedback in here. There's some country music station has crossed with our Twitch feed.
That's
I don't
my
understand.
beautiful singing voice, motherfucker. Yeah, so if I can meta this just a little bit to move it along. She is completely enraptured by Rastanos. She believes that Rastanos can do whatever Rastanos says he can do.
But I said I can't.
So you're telling her you can't now you're telling her you can't keep her safe.
I have always said that I alone am not adequate. I need help. It's an ugly, dangerous world, and
Well, she
I
looks
am not.
she looks at the party. She says, "You have your friends, do you not?"
Well, one of our main friends might not travel with us if you go with us. Is that true still, Rafina? Or do you see their love?
I can acknowledge they're enamored with each other. I just don't know if we can truly protect the princess in the wilds.
We can't. We can't protect any one of us. Any of us may die. We may all die. We know this. Princess, you would have to agree to be willing to lose Ristalnos in front of you because we cannot protect him any better than we can protect you, perhaps. It is us as a group that have survived the dangers of this jungle and the dangers before this jungle, and we will continue to hopefully survive. Otherwise, this land will fall apart under the control or the disintegration of the soulmonger. The disintegration that the soulmonger brings down upon us. So, if you are willing to travel with us, I personally am willing to have you.
Ah, yes. So, Azaka sort of laughs. She says, "Look, princess, let's cut to the chase. If you want to come with us, you may. But apparently no one wants to assume any responsibility for your safety, including your beloved Rastanos."
Wow.
Am I wrong, Rastanos? And she looks at you, and you're pretty sure she shakes a hip at you as she does, behind the back of the princess, of course. But she says, "Am I wrong, Rastanos?" She strikes a sexy pose.
I can do my best, but my best is not good enough without my friends.
All of your friends.
Without all of my friends.
So the progression of dialogue, sort of, there's a covenant, right? If we want to progress dialogue, we have to say some new things, some different things. And so like the reason I interject,
Very fair point.
the reason I interject with Azaka,
Princess, let's go.
the reason I interject with Azaka is to try to take a stick and be like, somebody do something different, right? Because I can steer the party. In fact, I can control the party. I can tell you what you want to do. I would rather not. I'd rather the players have the control of the game. And when I look to a certain player with a certain pivotal NPC to say, what should we do? If that PC player wants to punt and say, that's fine.
So in this particular regard, as Zaka has shown zero interest in Rastanos up to this point.
Yeah.
So the shaking the hip doesn't actually like she could have done that 2 weeks ago. You
She
know?
could have.
Yeah,
But now Rastalos is in love, so he doesn't even care. Right? I mean, it's
Right.
Rastalos. He's given his word. He doesn't even.
Right.
Azaka
So
doesn't
that's
even
the
exist to
point.
him anymore.
So that's
Right?
the point. Is that particular tool that you employed is currently ineffective.
Clearly ineffective. It seemed effective.
No, it made me laugh.
Your words say it was ineffective, but
It made me laugh. It made me laugh a lot.
okay.
Well,
So, you guys have.
Alessandra says, "Look, this banter back and forth. We really need to get moving. We stayed the night, so Rask, I just need you to nut up and tell
Good word choice.
her whether or not you think she should join us.
Get it, nut
don't
up.
think
I just
she
need you
should
to
come.
nut up.
You
Get it,
do
really?
not think she should join us.
I don't think she should come.
And so Rask pulls the 180. Rask pulls the complete.
So-
oh my god. Oh my god.
Mowaxanari,
Oh.
But I want her with me, and I don't want her to feel like I don't want her with me.
I don't
So,
want you with me, but I don't want
would
you to
you-
feel like I don't want you with me.
How about
Would you
I
like-
just learned the burial
hold
rites
on,
of
hold on,
Newtown.
Rafina. Rask, you're not making a formal commitment, but would you like to make a promise, if you will, to Mowaxanari?
Mowaxanari, yeah, very good, very good.
Well, we're bound. So, what promise do you want?
Bound out.
It's not a. It's more of a gesture.
We're clearly bound.
Alessandra pulls the ring, Rask's ring,
Oh, nice.
that everybody has seen previously, and I hand it to Rask. I said, "This is your ring. You can make a promise with it." And I set it on the table in front of him. Now I leave it up to you, but we need to get going.
The princess
All
looks
right.
at Restalos expectantly.
So I grab the ring and I give it to Mowaxanari and say, "Will you wait for me?"
Wait for you? Here? But
Where do you stay?
I'm supposed to be. We're supposed to be together. You said we would never be separated. You told me. You gave me a word. You said you'd protect me and keep me safe. It's all in the stream last week. I just looked at it.
No, these.
It is fresh in my memory.
False. You didn't look at it, and it didn't say that, and he never said that. But that is what he wants to do. So
What?
yeah,
All right, so the princess's eyes, they sort of well up, and she gets these big teary eyes, and she seems to age a bit as she looks at Restalos, and she sort of resigns herself to accepting that perhaps the promises made were not so sincere after all. Very well. I understand that my beautiful Restalos, will take no responsibility in keeping me safe. However, I am no longer content to sit here idly by while my kingdom falls into ruin or continues to lie in ruins. And she goes to Grey Petal. And she looks at Grey Petal and she says, "Grey Petal, you have been a faithful follower." And you're like, "What? Wait, follower? If you would have me, I would travel with you as your queen, and you may serve me in your travels."
I am your servant always.
And she stands next to Grey Petal and looks at Restalos with tears in her eyes, as if to say, "That is how a servant should act. That is what love should be like." Thank you, Grey Petal. Come, help me carry all my belongings.
Grey Petal will take her. Well, she can't. It's too valuable. She'll take her sack out of her backpack, unload all of her extra stuff. Where is this baggage?
It's a lot of copper.
So she takes you back to her room. What the hell is her?
Shard, was something in the drink last night? Or the
Rafina. It appears that she is going with us. Will you still?
I'll try to protect her as best as I can, but I don't have much faith that we will be able to.
I will not. I will protect you.
Maybe she shouldn't. I'm not sure I'm not sure about this. Maybe I should just let her sit here and live. I don't know. What happened to you,
come on.
Stylos?
You can't have two indecisive people. Or three. Oh my god.
No.
I'm just ready to move the story along. If we need a barrier, that's fine. Just give me the correct ritual for Ubtao, and we're good. If she survives, she'll be a great queen. If she don't, she'll be another drip in history that somebody will forget about.
Okay.
Great, we'll put that on her gravestone.
Another unknown ruler of a dead city.
It's not. It's undead.
I'm sorry.
Get it
Another
right.
another unknown ruler of an undead city.
I walk
She
over to
could
her.
end up undead.
All right.
I walk over to her Salnos. This is hard on you, I imagine. I'm sorry.
Thank you, sister.
The ring is yours.
I put it on.
If
All
we're
right.
going to take the princess,
And
why don't you at least make up with her?
When he puts on the ring, you see a single teardrop roll down Alessandra's face,
Oh no.
and she turns away.
Oh no.
Just killed you.
You just killed yourself.
I gotta learn that trick.
Dead man walking. Dead man walking.
So I'm gonna add to my inventory a ring. Right under the
Oh
ring
my
of
God.
protection, or right above it, I'll add the ring of death.
Alessandra's ring of death.
So now
All right.
we have one poor indecisive tiefling and a whole party of women, which about a third of them are annoyed with him in one way or the other.
All right. So
I'm not.
Maxinari, she takes you into her room, not far from here. She's got many beautiful trinkets, silver brushes and mirrors, crystal perfume bottles, writing quills. Like these quills are made from these multicolored parrot feathers. There are jewels for braiding into her hair. She's, a very girly girl. So she's actually not particularly beautiful. Like she's not voluptuous at any point. She's actually rather scrawny. Actually, as Rastalnos can attest to. She's
What
very,
does that
very.
mean?
What's that?
What is sex with a scrawny girl like?
Whatever. Talk to Rastalnos about that. But she's very weak
It's
and
fine.
scrawny. She, physically, but but even talking, like she's not particularly beautiful or voluptuous, but she definitely has a charisma. She definitely has a presence about her that makes it interesting when she talks, makes you want to hear what she has to say. Even as this, sort of a young, naive girl, she does have a very sort of forceful presence, if you would. A slight but forceful presence. And you can see from this stuff, Grey Petal, that she's definitely a very girly girl. Like I said, these jewels are braided in her hair, necklaces and rings set with fiery Cholton opals, amber, hundreds of gold worth of these baubles that she sort of starts packing up into the sack. She also gets a couple changes of clothes and stuff. So you've actually got a pretty big armful of stuff that she suggests that you should carry for her. Her whole, or all her wardrobes, her stuff especially.
Ask Ashara, what has she actually taught Malaxanari? What can we actually expect from the princess? Does she have any survivability skills at all outside of the
Ashara says the princess is a stupid, naive child. However, she has a force of will that is uncommon among any I have known. She has determined that she will be the queen of Omu, and she has made bargains to help ensure this for herself. I do not know the extent of these bargains, and I do not know that, well, I worry about the outcomes of such, but do not doubt her. Do not doubt her resolve. She is a strong girl, and I think that she would be a strong ruler should she survive. I do not approve of this. I think she's not yet ready to go out into the world, or at least out into Chult. The forest of Chult, it is such a dreadfully dangerous place, these days especially.
I'm there with you, but we'll try our best to keep her alive.
But take care of her, care for her, nurture her. Know that she cannot be bullied, but she can be reasoned with. I put her into, and she walks to Rafina and she looks at you and she puts her hand on her shoulder. She says, I put her into your charge.
We'll do my best.
I know that you will, and you have my blessings in all of your travels.
I give her a hug.
She looks at you like, why are you hugging me? Get out of here. Why are you spitting on me? What are you...
Great Petal, I gotta put Kithrin to bed.
Drool.
Sorry. Why are you drooling on me? All right, so Great Petal comes back out carrying, bed linens. There are 2 pillows, bed linens.
Pavilion tent.
Yeah, blankets, lots of clothes. She has the sack she's carrying herself. So she basically put all her valuables into the sack that she's carrying. And Great Petal's carrying this big giant armful of linens and bedclothes and clothes and cloaks and dresses and several pairs of foot coverings, shoes, of course. Must have many, many different pairs of shoes. So Great Petal is completely sort of taken up by all of the stuff that Great Petal is currently trying to carry.
Well, although Great Petal's kind of into all this, particularly the shoes, I do have to kind of pare it down a little bit according to practicality.
What do you mean? She looks at you and says, what do you mean?
Well, bed linen is going to be ruined in the jungle almost immediately.
But you can't expect me to sleep on the hard ground.
Oh no, Princess, don't worry about that. But I'll put the bed linens down.
Okay.
We'll leave this here. Let's go through the trinkets and see which ones actually have survival applications, which ones are too pretty to leave behind, and which ones we can do without.
Okay, so all of her trinkets, none have survival applications. All have sort of beauty applications. But this is actually, I mean, you recognize, like, this is valuable. Like, seriously, hundreds of gold pieces worth of baubles and jewels and brushes and barrettes and things that can be woven into hair. Like, there's a...
Well, if it's kind of trivial, we'll take it, like, as far as weight goes.
Yeah, that stuff is, basically, it can fit in a small, a small sack will be fine for those things.
Anything that kind of like weighs more than a pound,
like clothing,
have to, like, look at really closely.
Many changes of clothing and shoes.
Like how many is many?
She probably has enough clothes here. I mean, in here, she probably has enough clothes here to wear a different dress each day of the month, and have as many shoes to go with them.
All right, so I'm going to suggest, so that all of her stuff doesn't get ruined, we take 3 pairs of shoes and say 6 dresses.
3? How? What? How could I possibly choose? There are. Oh no! I can't. I need at least a dozen dresses.
Oxenar.
At least a dozen.
Let us begin to learn the art of
less is more.
No, of being clever in our choice of stuff. Now pick 3 shoes and 6 dresses that will all match, so that you can keep working them out.
Gotcha. All right. Can you roll me? Can you roll me a persuasion check?
Enough for a 10-day.
Alessandro, good thing. Alessandro. Okay, Gerald, roll me a persuasion check. I feel like we haven't had any dice tonight, right? Like Dungeons and Dragons needs dice. We need dice. So let's see how persuasive you can be in convincing her to pare down her wardrobe.
15.
15, solid. No, that's solid. She says, okay, well, very well, very well. Okay, so so you can narrow this down to 6 dresses and 3 pairs of shoes that you're now carrying, which is still a bit to carry. I mean, truth be told.
Does she have any armor?
No.
They don't wear armor around here.
Do they produce armor around here?
Not much.
No.
You remember, you were in the main city, dude.
All right. Fine. All right. So having been loaded up with this stuff, I guess this is what we'll take. I have no further advice on.
Can't
All
be
right.
critical.
Let's see.
So you have how many outfits? 6? I'm just curious because the weight of like vestments is 6 pounds. So if you have 6 of them, that's like 36 pounds of
It's
clothes.
definitely a pain in the ass. That's all right.
I'm sorry, normal clothes are only 3 pounds. So
I roll it up all tight.
All right,
Stick
throw
it
that
up
in.
my own gear.
Throw that in the inventory. And she. Let me see.
Hey, while they're doing all this, I've Alessandra has changed her mind. She changes into her Dungeoneer adventuring clothes.
Okay.
So she thinks that's going to be more appropriate to flying.
And I'll start going over the rules of the jungle with Wax and R while we're doing this.
Okay.
Like, don't drink water from the river.
always search for Mad Monkey Mist to swallow.
Well, yeah, if you see a blue mist, leave that to me. I'll take care of that.
Never open a chest without shooting it first.
Yeah. Important things like that. Important survival techniques.
Let me see.
Shashir will do push-ups.
Oh wow. All right. Yeah. So as you're doing this stuff, in fact, she actually sits in a chair as you're doing all this, and she's picking all the things, and you see her actually kind of wave her hands, and the clothes sort of pick themselves up and move them aside, and she kind of hands it, and so some invisible hand sort of hands you these clothes, right? She says, she hands you that, and as you sort of look at her with this sort of look on your face, and she stands up and she looks at you, and in your mind you hear her say, "Grey Petal, I cannot express my thanks to you enough. I shall truly try to be not so much of a burden upon you and your comrades, but know that you have my true thanks. Let us go."
After you, princess.
Yeah, and you realize that she wasn't talking at all, but you heard all of that in your mind from her, and she leads you out of the room. So she comes back out into the main area, and Ashar looks at you all, and she says, "Well, I suppose you shall be going. Very well then. Join hands with me around the circle, and we shall send you on your way."
Okay.
Right. And so some of the other guys, some of the Birdmen, Arakaka, come in, and they light various sticks of incense around the circle, and they have flutes and drums, and they start this sort of ritual thing with this rhythmic drumming, boom, 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 and then the flutes come in, and the Ashara, the leader of these Arakakra, starts sort of enchanting, and she takes the black orchid during all that, and she enchants, and she continues to enchant, and she kind of goes around each of you, and she sort of seems to dip the black orchid onto each of you, and you don't see anything, but you sort of feel this sort of tingly thing all over you as she ostensibly pours some of this black orchid all in each of you, and she walks around the circle, and this ritual goes on for about an hour. Actually, it's a very, very long ritual. And at the end of the ritual, most of this is done in Arakakra, none of which you understand, But at the end, she sort of raises her arms up and throws them down upon you. And you notice that as she does this, her wings that cover her arms and back disappear. And she is left with just these scraggly sticks of arms and scraggly fingers that she sort of brings upon herself, and she looks at you and she nods at you. And as the feathers disappear from her, you feel them growing upon your own arms.
Wow.
And you look, and there are no feathers. You see nothing there, but you feel them. You can feel these feathers, this empowerment of flight upon you. Alessandra, you're familiar with this. You sort of know what it feels like to will yourself to fly. Even Azaka has done this a bit. There's a lot of people who don't understand flying, who think that when you cast a flight spell, you just sort of sail across the air like it is in a ship. But Alessandra knows this is not the case, right? Flying is, well, it's basically like walking or running. You can fly. You just have the ability to now, instead of do it horizontally, you can now do it in any direction you please. So you each now have a 50-foot fly movement speed. And she tells you that this movement speed shall end at the sunset of the 4th day from today. So for the next 4 days, basically, you guys, in addition to your normal speed, have a 50-foot fly speed.
So does that add on to it, or
It
take over it?
It sort of takes over, yeah. You can walk
Gotcha.
at 30 or you can fly at 50. It's a thing. And flying, it's the same level of exertion as walking. So if you want to walk 30 feet, you can, or you could fly that 50 feet. But you have to will yourself to fly. You can't just sort of say, hey, blah blah blah, 50-foot vector this direction. No, you've got to fly 50 feet. You've got to move yourself. You've got to fight the air currents. You've got to deal with gravity. You've got to do all those things that get you 50 feet flying. So we've talked about this traveling speed and such. So that's how travel is going to work, right? So basically now, you guys are flying 50 feet, and that's pretty amazing. I mean, that's even for Alessandra, right, who's used to flying in 10-minute bursts. Like, the idea of flying for 4 days is, none of you probably have. I don't have words to really describe what sort of a permanent, flight feels like.
Will we have the dexterity to, like, while we're doing this, to actually have combat in flight, or no?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, really, it would take you a little bit to get used to, but it's, your mind magically sort of understands that the same mental process it would take for you to walk up to something to hit it, you could now fly 50 feet to that thing to hit it, or fly, anything you can do walking, you can do flying. It's the same sort of mental processes. It takes your brain a little bit to get used to, but once you understand that, and that's where the magic comes in, right? The magic sort of helps your brain recognize that it's just a natural movement of your body now to go 50 feet in any direction you want to go to, as opposed to having to walk 30. You can now just fly 50 any way you want.
Doesn't this slow Sashira down?
No, Sashira is just as nimble flying as she is walking. So
Yeah, I thought her walking speed was 55.
no, I don't think it's that much. But
It's
it's
like 45.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Unless I'm retreating, it's 55. But I'm really good at
yeah, but yeah. So no. Paul made a very convincing post about flight speed for monks. So I'm willing to accept that. Yeah. So Sashira, stumbles a little bit at first, but once she sort of gets her wings, so to speak, her air legs, so to speak, she's just as fast in the air, like faster than you guys in the air, as she is faster than you guys on the ground. She moves with uncanny speed. Anything she does, walking, flying, it's uncannily fast to each of you.
Hey, Roy.
Yeah.
Roy, I fly over to Azaka
Yeah.
and hold out my hand. Shall we?
And Azaka looks at you, and she's hesitant for just a second, but then she kind of realizes this. She looks at her arms like to find the wing, but she takes a moment to pick it in. But then she looks at you with that familiar smile that you've seen from her, like when you first gave her the gift of flight, sort of freeing her from the one true fear she had. You you see that light, that brightness in her face. That Azaka's a very stoic person, but this is a smile that has not appeared in her face, and she nods, yes, and you take off. Hand in hand, Alessandra and Azaka start to explore
And
the
Misha.
skies. Oh, of course, and Misha. Sorry, I don't mean to. Misha starts to pout a bit. It's like, oh wait, no. There's no pouting. Misha is very excited to be part of the trio that is now Misha, Alessandra, and Azaka. Apparently.
Well, I rush off to catch up with them and make sure they're going in the right direction.
Ah, right.
I'm not leaving quite yet. I'm thanking Ashara for all of this.
Yeah, Ashara says, "Well, it is, as I said, you leave with my true blessing. Please, do what you can to take care of the child. She has great potential, but she has so very, very much to learn. I'm glad that she is in your capable hands. Look after her as you would one of your own children, for she is surely one of my own children. And I do indeed wish you the great success you need into finding this soulmonger and freeing Cholt. In fact, freeing the world from its curse. Godspeed with you, Rafina. It has been my distinct pleasure to have met you and your friends."
Blessings of Lathander be on you, Ashara. May Ubtao guide you.
May Ubtao return to us.
That would be nice too.
And on those foreboding words, she goes back to rest, for she's clearly exhausted. So again, it's kind of interesting, but she gave up her own ability to fly so that you might.
Hopefully she gets that back.
As we'll see.
We'll see.
So,
Okay.
player map of Cholt. You guys are now flying. So with a flight speed of 50, that basically puts you guys at 5 miles an hour. So
You
40.
had the whole thing you sent us.
Yeah, so basically that puts you guys flying at 5 miles per hour. Normal day's flight would be about 8 hours of flying, so that's about 40 miles. Each hex, so that puts you about 4 hexes per day to fly.
As we're flying, I want to kind of like learn to fly as monks fly, if that's possible in this manner of flight. Like I want to learn to run on the trees to experience my fasterness.
So this is about twice as fast as us walking, basically.
Oh no, it's like 4 times as fast. You guys walk about a
We're
hex a
doing
day.
2 hexes a day.
No, you walk
Hex is
one.
24.
No, but in the jungle, you're moving about 1 hex per day because it's all difficult terrain, rounded down. The jungle
It's
is
only on the river.
on the river. You guys can move maybe 2 hexes a day. Yeah, depending on the No, river is a hex and a half a day, I think, on average.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Well, we're not going to make it to Orlunga.
Is it a
actually
10
5
mile
days. You guys.
But walking's like 1.5 miles an hour, right? Through the
Ow,
jungle.
crud. Where's that silly thing you sent?
He said it was
6 times 8. I'm sorry. You guys move at 6. I'm sorry. You guys should be moving at 5 hexes per day. So that puts you at. That's a movement speed of
That
60,
will
actually.
make it. If
Yeah.
it's where we think it is.
Sorry. So your flight speed is 60, not 50. I did some bad
Well,
math there.
we'll be within a half a day of it in worst case.
So
So yeah,
basically,
push one day.
where Azaka says Orlunga is, you guys can get there in about the next 4 days. You can definitely get there in 4 days.
Let's go.
Okay, so the first day goes by. Pretty. Let's see. This really changes my my plans for things because
It's really closer to 7 miles an hour. It's 6.81.
You always drop fractions though in the new one.
In D&D 5e, your movement speed, yeah, it's pretty simplified in D&D 5e.
Yeah, we'll be right at 4 days, and we'll get more longer if it's in the right
I was thinking
place.
more
And
of
don't forget, we might see some things from above the canopy. Or if there's a break, or we will have to land to sleep or forage.
oh yeah, no.
In particular, if we pass over the city of Omu, it would be really important to note that.
I don't think we're going to be passing over the city of Omu.
Does the princess know where it is?
She does not, actually. Interestingly, she does not know where this. Yeah, she does not know where this. It's the lost city of Omu.
The lost city. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, hang on, I gotta recalibrate because I was expecting this to be a very different trajectory with the princess and Rastanos as lovers, but now,
They still could be lovers.
Yeah, I'm not gonna look.
Yeah, they still are.
I think she's a little upset at you.
As a
course
paladin
she's
of
upset.
Sune, I will lecture the princess on love.
Oh Lord.
As
Okay.
applied.
So, the first day comes and you guys, there's a scene opens where you guys are resting, and Sashira and Azaka are foraging for some food for you guys. The princess sort of lands. Oh, the princess. Okay, so the princess. Let's see. I guess I'll put her on the combat tracker. So let's talk. Let's see. Maxinari. Wait, that's not. Wait.
Rafina also is going to pay close attention to Rask and Moax.
That's not creepy.
Well,
So if we stop for any time, then Rastanos is going to go to Moaxinari.
All right, Malwaxanari is on the combat tracker. Turns out that she is not a zero. When I reveal this to you guys?
We're fifth.
almost sixth.
Yeah,
Are we? No, we're fifth, right?
we're almost.
We're fifth. We're about to break sixth.
And we're not sixth until we're sixth. So.
All right, I'll put it on the combat tracker for now, and if it becomes important, we'll talk about it. But she is clearly not. I mean, I think it's so far right. She has some pretty amazing powers. So she's clearly not some zero level human. She has.
Which
You
ones
guys can
does
see
she
her
expressed?
hit points, right? All right. So what I'm gonna do for Max and what I'm gonna do for Mawaxanari this session. Here's my surprise, my Mawaxanari surprise, right? Because this is a game and we're here to have fun.
Roy, don't forget about surprise.
All right, thank you. So here's how we're gonna have fun with Mawaxanari. Now, this session.
Moaxinari too.
Hey Roy, there's a Moaxinaris for fun.
Twins! Elliot, you're
You guys are the most aggravating fuckers in the fucking history of the fucking world. And
Sorry
this is
that we all
why
read.
this is a mature channel. Fuck.
Sorry that we read.
All right, so Mawaxanari, she is a teenage.
Whoa, speak for yourself, Elliot.
Mawaxanari is a teenage girl. At the end of the day, she's a teenage girl. And that, how does a teenage girl act? Like, what does that mean, right?
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
So, what I'm going to do tonight is I am going to establish a sort of basic idea of Mawaxanari's personality over the course of tonight. Okay? She is going to have a character sheet, and her character sheet's going to be used by. Well, okay. Next week, I'm going to either randomly or whatever. Let's say randomly. I'm going to randomly determine a different player who's going to control Mawaksanari next week. And each subsequent week, a different player will randomly be determined to control Mawaksanari. That, I think, will perfectly sort of encapsulate the idea of this crazy 17-year-old girl, right? And we'll get to each, not as our main character, but as a side character, a side gig, right? Play this 17-year-old character who is in love with and disappointed in Rastanos, and at least as of tonight, as of this moment, happy with Grey Petal for being her champion, squire, whatever.
Horse.
Right? So
Well, last week, Grey Petal offered to be her champion.
yeah.
So
Well, see, this is the beauty, right? So from week to week, a different person will be able to give their interpretation of Mawaksanari and play Mawaksanari according to his interpretation of this teenage girl. Is that the best thing ever?
No.
Come on.
No, hate it.
I love it. Yes! I knew you'd all be so excited. I knew it. So,
I wanted a puppy.
hey, maybe she'll be a puppy when you control her.
Okay.
So I'm gonna run that via the normal NPC rules, which is I have a basic idea how I want her to act. If you guys are too crazy, I'll of course interject and say no, veto, right? Because I'm a dungeon master, I can do whatever the fuck I want. But this week I'm gonna play Mawaksanari. Next week somebody else is gonna play Mawaksanari, like the whole character, in combat, in role playing, in all that stuff. But bear in mind, Mawaksanari is an NPC. She's a secondary character, so we don't expect her to be there. But maybe for that week, if Paul's playing Mawaksanari, maybe Sashira sort of fades into the background that week, and Mawaksanari is a primary role player in that week, right? Or however, you'll each have the chance to play this teenage girl over the coming sessions. So, you're welcome.
Sweet.
That's such a terrible idea.
I think
I'm
it's
already
great.
playing a teenage girl.
Okay. Also, like I said, Mawaksanari is not a 0-level person. She actually is a classed NPC, a 2nd-level classed NPC. So she is actually not even complete and total fodder. She's gonna have a fighting chance. I like this character. I want her to survive. I don't think she will survive. We'll see how it goes. Hey? All right. So, with all that super fucking long preface, you guys take your first pause of the day. You guys have spent the day traveling, flying, sort of like learning your wings, so to speak. And what?
I think. As far as like, okay, first guard goes. Nice.
Yeah, but this isn't even guard. This is like just sort of like, as you're traveling. So when you're traveling, it's not like you constantly walk, right? You walk, you rest, you walk, you rest, you eat, you forage, in the course of a 24-hour day, you only really spend 8 hours moving. The other 16 hours you spend resting or setting up camp or taking down camp or finding food, water, that kind of stuff. So in one of the first rests of today, you guys land, and Mawaksanari sort of lands, still clearly pouting at Rastanos, sitting next to Grey Petal. And Grey Petal, you said you were going to do what?
Well, I think that in the Temple of Sune, you study various men, particularly men of power, right? And I suppose since it's not necessarily patriarchal, so you do men and women, right? So you're studying their nature. And I imagine that they probably have studied it so intensely, being a cult, an ancient love cult, that they've kind of like broken down all the archetypes, right? And they probably have like little songs or like little parables about like each different kind of man and what they should use for, what you should watch for, right? So I'm going to go through all these parables, slowly teaching her everything there is, everything that Sune has to teach about men and about relationships and about power and how, you know, what to look for, what to manipulate, everything that the god of love and better beauty has to offer on that issue. And I will warn her that often the things that the heart wants are not the things that one needs.
And she looks pointedly at Rastalnos.
I'll start on the parables that describe Rastalnos. Come on, very carefully, reminding her that as a queen, the proper a consort is fine, but as a proper king, you have to have someone willing to wield power, someone willing to tell people what to do. She should think about that carefully.
All right, and she does. She stares at Rastalnos, and
That's weird.
she's upset, but she looks at Rastalnos a lot. All right, so teaching of parables of rulers for day 1.
And this is during flight, or is this during guard duty?
This
Practical.
Yeah, this can sort of be. I mean, you guys have a lot of hours. So this is a case where any sort of inter-character interactions that anybody wants to do can happen. It's a great, fantastic time for small little role play events to pop up, right? So if anybody has any sort of thing they want to do, this is pretty easy. You guys are traveling. The first day goes by wholly uneventfully.
Sending to Ashara at the end of the day.
Okay. What are you sending her?
Still on way. Everything okay.
She says, thank you. you get her thanks. She says, thank you, Rafina. May the gods...
Also, can we actually bring the princess into combat? Like, we see a small group of undead. Can we start getting her used to the idea?
That's up to you.
I want to get her leveled. So if we can pick...
so we're not...
You can't say level. That doesn't make any sense.
So we're not metagaming this. I'm assuming...
Well, this is asking as a player to the DM.
No. We're not metagaming this. We're going to continue to sort of play this as... So one of my concerns with this, so time out. One of my concerns with this is this idea that we're going to power level other NPCs. I'm not going to try to write out a complete rule set about this. I'm just going to not allow it to happen. So something like this, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I don't want to say no. I want to say yes. But in this case, no, we're not going to... I don't want to get into the meta power
random
leveling.
Encounters will still count toward her experience and knowledge, correct?
Random encounters never count for experience.
No, they definitely do. In the jungle, they have.
Particular, yes.
Yeah, random encounters have definitely, it depends, right? In the jungle, part of traveling to the jungle is encountering the jungle, and you guys have earned tons of experience, thousands and thousands of experience traveling through the jungle so far. So that's definitely a thing, and that's why it's kind of weird, right? Because you guys have the ability now to sort of avoid things, and that makes sense. But you'll avoid encounters as is. So anyway, I don't want to get into the whole meta of all that. Suffice to say, you guys travel a day, night, rests. If anyone has any sort of role-playing things they want to do, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to sort of just move the timeline along.
Yeah, so Rastano said, every chance he gets, he wants to be close to Moaxanari. And so when they stop, anytime they're flying, he's trying to be close to her and be with her. And so when we're flying, when we're stopped, when we sleep, he wants to be cuddled up next to her. So as a role-playing thing, that's just consider that as the default.
All right. So when you try to cuddle up next to her, she sort of looks at you. She's like, "Oh, so now you want to protect me? I thought you couldn't protect me. You said you wouldn't protect me.
I didn't say I wouldn't. I said I would try my best.
You said you couldn't. You said you couldn't. You said you could, and then you said you couldn't. You changed your mind. What is it? Which is it? Can you or can't you? Huh? And she runs off to buy Great Petal. So later that day, you guys are traveling, and you kind of snuggle to her again. And she's like, "Oh, now you're protected."
Yeah. Okay, I'll give her twice, and after the second time she does that, I avoid her.
Okay. All right. So you're avoiding her, and she's like, "That's my pouty face, right?" In case that's
Yeah. Yeah.
Great Petal will comfort the princess.
He said he would protect me, Great Petal, and now he says he won't protect me. Which is I don't understand. Why must he? Oh wait. And she talks about one of the parables you mentioned. Oh, this is the parable. This is the parable of Rastalnos.
Yes. Yes.
Why?
You
Why,
must,
Great Petal?
you must learn to accept people for what they are, even when they want to be something else.
But I. Rah! She flies off by herself for a while.
No, you can't do that. I go chasing after her.
Well,
You cannot be alone in the jungle. No one can be alone in the jungle.
Well,
Everybody in sight of everybody.
fine. It's not fair.
You're going to have to be an adult about this.
I gave him myself. Great Petal.
I am sorry, Maxinara, and I will pray to the gods for you. But in my tradition, that is the highest expression that one can have. But it is often an expression that exists only in the moment and carries terrible consequences. And I fear that the consequences for you will be terrible.
You have much wisdom, Great Petal. I'm lucky to have you as a consort.
Consort. No, wait, hold on. Champion's fine. Servant's fine. Consort. Let's think about that.
She flies close to you for a moment. She's like, I'm glad to have you as a consort, Great Petal.
Yes. Well, just remember the parables about the responsibilities of the queens.
Yes. Right. Yes. Of course. Yes. Queens. This queen thing. It is not as glamorous as I thought it might be. Perhaps. I don't know. Well. Very well then. I don't see what you all were complaining about this jungle. It's not so bad, really.
Just don't drink the
Or
water.
breathe the mist.
The night goes by relatively uneventfully. Let's see.
Great Petal is now standing, since she can just fly into places, she'll actually just like stand guard in a tree.
You mean Shishira?
Sure, sorry.
One of us, whichever character I get to control, I don't know. One of them.
You know, I was confused.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
I was looking at you. I was looking at your name, Great Petal. It's terrible. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. Okay, the next day, relatively early in the day, you guys are traveling through the jungle. There's a relatively unusual kind of break in the trees, and you get into sort of a kind of a clear area. You continue to travel there, and you can see not far from the distance. There's a massive chunk of earth and rock that's torn from the earth, and that drifts above the swampy forest, maybe 100 feet above the ground. And it's just sort of this big chunk of earth slowly turning in the ground. Those of you familiar with Rastalnos, Alessandra, you guys probably would recognize this as an earth moat. It's basically a piece of earth that is magically origins kind of unknown. In fact, most of the earth moats that you guys know were gone in the the crazy
Sundering?
magic stuff that happened. The Sundering, yes, the crazy magic stuff that happened in the last few decades. All the earth motes of the world were known to fall to the ground, but here's one still standing, floating. There's a petrified tree that towers above the stone. Stone roots sort of protrude from the bottom. Between the shape of the rock and the branching of the tree's limbs, it creates the impression of a gigantic stone heart hanging in the sky. The impression is only made more gruesome by the red liquid dripping from the roots. As you guys sort of see this, Azaka actually sort of pauses and she says, "Whoa, the heart of Ubtao. I have not seen this in quite some time."
What is the heart of Ubtao?
Are you familiar with it?
It is a floating piece of earth that is in Cholt. This floating piece of earth, it is said to resemble the shape of a heart, and it is known throughout Cholt as the heart of Ubtao.
It moves around?
What's that?
It moves around?
So it floats in air, but it spins, slowly spins around. In fact, you can see as it spins around, you can see a cave mouth of the side slowly rotating kind of towards you. And there's a stairway that sort of winds itself up from the bottom up to the top of this cave mouth, to the flattened top where the petrified tree stands on the top of it. This is
Okay, sorry.
this staircase isn't a natural staircase. It's like clearly a carved, as you're sort of approaching it, it's a carved staircase into this floating rock.
Look for Azaka.
Ask Asaka if this is a holy spot.
A holy spot? No.
The heart of Ubtao, not holy.
Nah. Do not forget, friends. Ubtao has been gone from Chult for a century at least. Any holy spots to Ubtao are long gone. This is, well, as you can
just
see.
Found one.
Well, I suppose that's true. She pauses
So
to reflect.
should we explore this cave?
Of course.
Who am I but a simple guide?
All right.
Let's
anyone-
bypass this. We only got 4 days of flying.
Well, we could rest here, right? We could take a rest.
Well, it seems like getting up to this cave while we're flying is the easiest time to get up to it.
Yeah, I mean,
The
you
only
could
time
easily
we'll get up to
land.
it.
Yeah,
Can
sure.
we want to get up to it's the question though. Can we afford a side quest at the moment? Can we afford to actually search this if we know where we need to get to the Oracle?
Fact
What if
is,
something traps us here? What about if we have a problem here?
You know, everything that we encounter is gonna hopefully aid us in our quest. I think it's definitely worth a sidetrack.
Rafina, I believe Alexandra is right in this case because we just don't know where we're going. The Oracle is not a guarantee.
Everything pointed to the Oracle. Didn't Father?
Even so, every time we've found these places, we usually get some kind of benefit from it. I kind of think we should explore it, even if it
We're going to the
Okay.
Yeah,
we're
Azaka
we're
says,
going to
this.
the Oracle to seek knowledge, and here's an opportunity to find knowledge without the Oracle.
Okay.
I have one question of Grey Petal.
Yes, Noble Shashira. What is it?
How do we stealth fly?
Huh?
Just fly quietly.
Why would Grey Petal know that?
We're both doing it.
Since I've been having the parables of love on my brain, I guess Grey Petal just kind of just short circuits and gives you one of her parables.
Excellent. If we could get any of those parables sort of in written form, that would be really fantastic. Actually,
So, seriously, you didn't think that she's already thought of that?
just mentioning that'd be fantastic if we could have some of those sort of a verbal recounting of any of these parables. That would be fantastic.
I try to find shadows and fly in them. And if I have to fly in the shadows of other characters, I do.
Ooh, I have a picture of this. Hold on, I can share this. Look at this. There we go.
Can Mawaxanari tell us anything of the skull chalice
Oh my
talking
god,
about?
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I tell you what, Grey Petal will fly up to the mouth of the cave and peer in.
I'll stealth in Grey Petal shadow.
Am I
All right,
just
let's
as
see.
noisy since I'm flying and not walking?
Finally. Probably the wind whistling through your armor is not helping, though.
All right, so
And once I'm at the cave, I'll use my divine sense.
what? Hold on, researching. All right. Okay, so let's see. You get to the cave heart, and let's see. So at the cave entrance, yeah. So the floor of the entrance sort of slopes upward towards the inside of the heart, and there is this constant water sort of streaming out from it, and this water sort of runs red as it streams out through this cave entrance down through the rest of the rock and dripping out below it. The cave mouth appeals very natural. The steps, of course, seem very like a carved set of stairs from the top landing down to the cave mouth. Your divine sense does not detect anything that might register in divine sense, though you can't see anything, and you know that divine sense is sort of a sight thing. So just as extra information.
I do have dark vision. 60 feet.
So inside of here, I mean, there's a big cave opening inside. From out here, it's hard to see too much inside of there, but there's obviously a big open area in there. You could wander in if you'd like.
Are we all approaching the cave entrance?
Yeah, I imagine you guys are basically together, right?
Yeah, also keep in mind that I have special dark vision.
Special.
My dark vision can't be obstructed by anything.
Even
and it's 120 feet.
Yeah, even magical darkness. Allison,
Yes.
sees through magical darkness.
Instead of the cave, we may want to consider going through the top one of those openings instead.
Yeah, I'm kind of inclined,
Well, let's see what he has to say about the cave entrance. Because I should be able to see 120 feet into it.
I mean, yeah, like I said, there's a big open area in there.
Well, it's daylight, right? So if this tree has a hole in it, it should be projecting some kind of
If it goes to the cave.
sunbeam if it goes to the cave, right?
Yeah. So you guys can kind of fly out, sort of near the entrance of the cave, and again, looking in, you guys can see into this darkness. So it opens up into a big open area inside. In the center of this big area, there's a pool of probably rainwater. There's still water dripping into it. There's a large pool that sort of rules the center of this cave, and there's not a lot of other stuff to make out. I mean, this seems like there's probably signs of habitation in here. And you as you guys are sort of flying about, kind of looking out, you hear a voice speak out from inside. It speaks in common. And it says, "Really? Well, if you're going to flit about outside, you may as well come in and visit." It's a very soft, melodic voice.
Well, I guess Grey Petal could go check it out.
We're sorry. We didn't realize that the cave was inhabited.
Oh.
We were just investigating. We were passing by. Thought we would look in. Please, come to the cave entrance and I can introduce myself.
So a young elf woman sort of comes to, let's see, I've actually got a map of this whole place. Hold on, I got a map of this whole place.
What?
Sorry.
Makes me want to attack her.
Because she's an elf?
What?
No, because, there hasn't been a whole lot of dice rolling in this session.
I hear that.
Well, there's that.
Let me see how this rolls.
You know,
how's this look?
Critical Role is doing all kinds of dice rolling.
Son of a...
No, I don't
Fuck
do
you,
that
Chris.
because I'm paying attention to
Fuck
our
you.
game.
Son of a -6. You have a -6.
Is that really a penis?
What?
Yeah, nice drawing.
We shall go investigate the penis. We will go in by the balls.
Son of a bitch. This is a line of sight, you freaking...
You always start at the balls and work your way up.
Is that better? No. Is that...
It's only getting worse.
Shit.
Now we're working on elephantitis.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You'll never get rid of the penis now.
Whatever. No, actually, no. Fuck
Penis
this.
is
Wait.
there forever.
No, I can get rid of the whole thing. How do I go away? Go away. Let's see.
Oh, you changed it from a penis to a garden gnome?
Aren't they the same thing, really?
There. God. Jeez. Fuck. Hang on. I need a what am I doing?
Better friends?
I need no. Well, no shit, huh?
Can't we all?
Once you give video cards, huh?
How do I?
Not got one of those.
I need an elf. Aha! All right, here we go.
Oh.
All right, can I divine sense her?
Hang on. I'm doing stuff. Hang on a second, asshole. Damn
Hey,
it.
Grey Petal.
Fucking needy bitches.
Actually, this would be a Grey Petal question. I'm sorry. Hey, Gerald. Does divine sense involve semantics or anything, or motion?
Not by the description.
Okay.
All right. So this female elf sort of steps out, and you can see her. In fact, actually, I have a picture of her. Hold on.
Uh-oh, more pictures.
This is all. I love it. I love it when they have pictures. I love the pictures so much.
That was a good picture of the heart floating thing. That's actually something I really wanted to do.
Ooh,
What about this?
she looks a little rough.
Man.
It's a fucking sketch. Shut up. You'd look rough too if you were a sketch. She
is kind of sketchy.
She has a slip wheel for the past 300 years is what it looks like.
She steps out and she says, "Well, if you're going to flit about, you may as well come in."
All right, divine sense.
Divine sense.
Is she fiend, celestial, or undead?
I like this divine sense thing. Let me see this divine sense.
I'd like for it to be useful just once.
What? It's not supposed to be useful.
Class ability. Come on. Useful. Useful.
The presence of strong evil registers in your senses like a noxious odor, and powerful good rings like heavenly music in your ears.
Aw. You should look at me.
Interesting.
I get nothing from you.
What?
I get nothing.
Nothing.
I'm powerful good.
All right.
Well,
You are
powerful.
assailed by a stench the likes of which you have never imagined in your life. You are momentarily stunned by the unimaginable stench of undead that radiates from this elf.
I will pull out my sword talon and I will say, "Stay where you are, fiend."
This elf sort of looks at you all like, okay, I'm just hanging out in here. You guys are flying in here.
Show us your true form.
Here I am.
What's wrong, Grey Petal?
The gods have cursed this creature.
Me?
This abomination.
I'm not so bad. She's actually not so bad in the eyes. I mean, the sketch is kind of weird, but she's really not so bad. She's actually, In fact, Rastalos, you're sure she's pretty hot. Come on. She's pretty hot.
No, the first thing I noticed were like the rings of blood under her eyes.
Rings of blood?
No, that's mascara.
What are you doing here, witch?
Rings of blood? What the fuck? What the...
Yeah, and she's like got these dark circles under her eyes that are like, just.
All right. Then no more pictures for you. If you can imagine, really, rings of blood. Rings of blood.
She has a black eye, actually.
Maybe she has a black eye. Maybe she's been abused. All you guys know is that she is a pretty elf woman.
Grey Petal sees something.
No,
wrong.
we're hanging out with a pretty elf woman.
No, you're hanging out with an ugly elf woman.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you
What's
are.
Alessandra? Alessandra's not an elf?
Half elf.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, you muted. Yeah, the elf woman is actually ugly. You are actually hanging out with an ugly elf woman.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
You're used to this shit. Like, it's just fucking. She actually is a pretty elf woman compared to the ugly elf woman you're used to hanging out with.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Sashira's low charisma is because of her appearance. It's because of her gestures, her spitting, and all that. I think she's like pretty, but
At least average. Yeah.
awkward.
You can think she's pretty all you want. She's fucking ugly.
Okay.
I spit.
No, witch. Answer.
All right. Yeah. Anyway, all that aside, all the blood rings under her eyes bullshit aside, Grey Petal does recognize this is just an undead being of unimaginable whatever.
We don't want to screw with this. We want to.
I'm Alessandra Nalkin, Warlock of the Fae.
We should back away.
Well, Alessandra, well met. I am Sarah of the Elves. What brings you to sunny Chult?
We are we're traveling. As you can see, we're just flying by.
You don't see many people flying by. As you can imagine. How is it
That's
that
gonna
you
be
have?
all the rage in the future.
And today you've seen 6.
This is
7 if you count Misha.
This is truly impressive to me. I must admit.
Misha is my pseudo dragon.
Yes. Are pseudo dragons invisible?
No,
They are not.
Yeah. Yes, I am. I'm well acquainted with pseudo dragons. I am, however, not well acquainted with you. It is interesting to me that a party of your clear power is here in Chult. What might bring adventurers, dare I say, adventurers of your caliber here to Chult?
I mean, there's all manner of adventure to be had in Chult.
We really just want to punch the gut of evil.
Punch the gut of evil.
I'm not much for the punching of the gut of evil, but yes, evil should be laid low.
It's a metaphor.
I mean, it doesn't have to be.
Doesn't
I've
have to
seen
be.
you punch the gut of evil, so it is both a metaphor and actually happened. So
We are confronted with a great power that seeks to consume us. Perhaps we should not be joking at a moment like this.
gallows humor.
Sarah, is there something you want to mention to us?
What? No.
Are you feeling okay?
Turn her! Turn her!
Well, hold on.
So she looks at you and she's like, I don't suppose you're here to confront the soulmonger.
Who's the soulmonger?
We might be. If there's a soulmonger to be confronted.
That
Who's the
wasn't.
soulmonger?
That was it. That was an easy guess.
Wouldn't it be?
Yes.
What's the soulmonger is a better question.
Well,
Or who?
For a challenge.
Where? Where is a great question.
Is this the heart of the maggot storm?
Yes, foul beast. Give up your lore.
what is she keeps sort of looking at Grey Petal and ignoring Grey Petal and looking at Grey Petal, ignoring Grey Petal, talking to Alessandra, looking at Grey Petal, ignoring Grey Petal. Back to Alessandra.
I summoned one sacred butterfly to fly around my sword.
she twitches. Wait a minute. All right. It is time for a break. We're gonna take 5. Friends at home, all of you, friends at home. We're gonna take 5. Let's see. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna do bathrooms and drinks and anything else we might need to do. We'll see you guys in 5. Somebody remind me to turn sound.
I haven't been able to check our Twitch stream because my computer has forgotten how to get to it.
Son of a.
And I haven't been able to check our Twitch stream because of Critical Role.
Chris, you suck.
Don't forget to turn back on sound.
That's the other thing.
Got it. Excellent. Thank you for the reminder.
So I typed in the tavern and I couldn't get to it.
Everything is looking fine on the Twitch stream.
Okay. Oh.
Twitch.tv/nerdleaguegaming.
Why is that so hard for my computer?
I don't. Yes, your computer. Why is it so hard for the computer, Paul?
No, my computer remembers all these things, supposedly. Except with Twitch.
Hey, we're
Stare
live.
in the sunlight.
Oh.
Uh-oh, Elliot's broken out the wine. That means he's gonna seduce the undead.
Oh shit! It's not undead. You don't know. Well, okay, I guess you do know. Well, Great Pedal knows.
Yeah, I
It's so
don't know.
exciting that power actually worked.
What's that?
It's really exciting that power actually worked.
Yeah,
I was actually pretty excited about that too.
it's generally pretty useless, I think. So
Well, it has been pretty useless up to now.
it's supposed to be
But
useless. It's a useless
if-
power.
If Grey Petal doesn't let us know that she's undead, it's still pretty useless.
I think he sort of let us know. Except he has called it evil, not undead.
Great Pedal gave the secret party
He
sign,
actually didn't
massive
even call
undead
it evil.
evil thing.
Just
Great
asked
power.
for the fiend's true form. Called it a fiend.
Yeah.
What difference does it make? Fiend or undead? How does that change your decision making?
True. So,
Actually, it doesn't change my decision making at all.
What I typed in there, did I get a response?
wait, what did you, what? Wait, what? Huh? So Rafina speaks to this thing in a language, I believe, in fact, Rastalos understands.
Interesting.
Rastonis does speak Infernal.
What?
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
The dirty language.
Well, it's part of my demonic heritage.
Yeah. So Rastalos, you hear Rafina actually address this elf in Infernal, and she says, "What kind of creature are you?" And the elf sort of looks at you. And she speaks in common. I'm not sure what language you speak. And she goes back to Alessandra. She says, "So, is it the soulmonger you're after?"
Who's the soulmonger?
Who or what? That is a good question.
Well, I don't know.
Or where? Where is a great question.
Tell us about it. What is this soulmonger?
Come, friends. We have much to speak of. I believe we can help each other in this quest. We are allied here. And she sort of turns and walks into the cave.
Paralyzed death.
Come into my lair, said the spider to the fly.
1 second, Sarah. I really need to consult with my friends
Sarah.
before we go into your home.
Sarah.
Yeah, we like to talk it over before we walk into a trap.
I do have 1 or 2 comments on our Twitch stream.
Okay.
Rafina and I are mixed up. Not a big deal.
We're what?
And Rafina is cut off.
It's what?
Oh, your camera's just angled slightly wrong.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Did you turn the audio back on?
Yeah. Thanks for the reminder.
Sure thing.
This.
How did you guys get confused? That's so weird. Okay, there we go. Now you're better.
Excellent.
All right,
Yeah,
thanks.
sorta.
Let me know stuff like that.
Oh, I couldn't because I forgot and my computer forgot.
Son of a. Well, friends. Sarah has
Well-
invited you in.
Hold on 1 second, Sarah. So, and I fly over to Grey Petal. So Grey Petal, what are you detecting here? That you know that she's a fiend.
She's a very
And-
powerful undead. What else do you need to know? The gods have given me sight beyond sight.
Sights
Or in this
beyond
case,
sight.
scent beyond scent.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
we're way
Roy?
beyond the sense here. I agree with.
Yeah. Chris?
can she possibly be a revenant, an elvish revenant, and therefore not evil? And B, would my character know that with his or with her knowledge of arcane?
I think that question was aimed at Roy, right?
Said Roy.
Yeah.
Yes, Roy. Sorry. I thought I said Roy.
Can she be a revenant? I suppose so. You want to make me an arcane check?
I would love to. I would love to make a 23 on that roll.
Wow.
She doesn't seem like a revenant. She seems like an elf, actually.
Well, revenants are elves.
This doesn't. I mean, she seems like an elf, like a female elf.
Okay.
You can't. Yeah, there's nothing untoward that you can see or notice about her. I mean, yeah, she was standing in the cave. She was in the daylight. She's fine. You know, she's doesn't seem to be anything outside
Not like
of
daylight.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to be anything except an elf inviting you into her
Only
cave
things
to
that
come
have
talk.
problems with daylight are vampires. Liches don't. She's in a flying.
Well, yeah, if she's a lich, then,
I think this is above our power level.
or
But
is
she
it
does.
exactly our power level because she's not going to attack us?
I guess it depends on how good we talk.
She could give us some information on Soulmonger.
Let's go
Yes.
offer her some treasure. We have treasure.
Maybe we just go in there, offer hospitality.
First person
Conversation.
that offered us info about the Soulmonger, she like brought it up.
It's
never
true.
happened.
So I vote that we go in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brass, stay at the back of the party with Mawak Sonari. Keep her toward the exit.
I typically do stay at the back of the party, but carry on.
Normally I'm at the back.
Yes. Anyway,
Anyway,
Okay, let's go into the trap, I guess, huh?
there's no better way to spring a trap than to walk into it.
Before I go in, I cast protection from evil on myself.
All right.
That's so selfish.
I can't get mind controlled.
Yeah, that would be bad.
yeah, if that happened again,
I was born to be mind controlled.
Oh, I guess I gotta wait. Wait. I can apply the effect to myself.
Okay.
All right, so we're in the map
We are in the map,
at the
and
entrance.
I am leading the way.
Apparently, that's what I just arbitrarily decided. So she goes and sits on this bench. She's sort of sitting on this bench. She's like, come in. My accommodations are meager, but you are welcome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Let's see. So the cave that you guys walk into, it's musty and dimly lit by daylight filtering down through the hollow. So the hollow petrified tree trunk 20 feet above, right? So that tree that you guys saw is apparently hollow and leads down into this place. A pool of dirty rainwater occupies a central 20 feet of the floor between natural pillars formed by the roots of the petrified tree. 3 tall bookcases stand against the wall to the right of the cave entrance. A desk and several wooden crates stand against the left-hand wall. Opposite the entrance are 2 open doorways into smaller chambers, and between them, a large iron cage, currently empty.
As I walk past the books, I'm going to look at their spines and see if they have any names on them.
They do not. These books are not well... They would not fit well in a library. Library books like to be well identified. These books do not seem to want to be well identified.
I see.
So, come, friends. No, really, come. Come, sit.
I sit on the ground right here.
All right.
I'll sit in the middle of the air.
Totally doable. Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty cool, actually.
I will follow
So,
Rufina's thing because that's really cool. Except I want to do it upside down.
that's weird, but still doable. Okay.
All right, you're upside down.
So who's going to be controlling?
I think Roy has the princess tonight.
Yes.
Oh, Mawaxanari. Wait, actually,
Should you give us one of
We got Azaka and Waxanari.
yeah. So tonight I'll control her for tonight, I guess. Sure, fine, whatever. She'll stick
where
with Grey Petal.
exactly is she's kind of like the group charge, like where is she? Is she with you, Rask, on the outside, or is she somewhere else?
We came
wants to be
inside
close to
with
Grey
the rest
Petal.
of the group, but we're too far forward.
You really need to be by that exit with her. That way
Well, no,
we're-
really, we should all be a little bit closer. But anyway,
Oh well, that's
I don't know. Whoever's controlling her needs to move her off that route.
Yeah, that's a weird place.
She's currently occupying the same space as a route.
no, she's not closer to the bad guy than I am.
That's good. That's good.
Fine.
I screwed up something.
Now we're all in a nice diagonal line for the lightning bolt.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
So she
Can
says
you
so.
put me over in front of Waxanari?
In a second. She says so. Tell me more about your mission here.
Well, like Sashira said, we're here to punch evil in the gut, and the soulmonger that you brought up seems like a fine thing to defeat, since soulmongers seem bad.
And what do you know of this soulmonger?
Not a lot. Perhaps you can help us with some information.
Perhaps I can. But in order to give you information, I must know my starting point. What do you already know?
It eats souls.
Or captures them, which would be more of what a soulmonger would imply.
I thought it was more like a fishmonger, soulmonger. Okay.
Fishmonger,
I
soulmonger?
would think a monger of souls is a person or a thing that collects souls.
She sort of pauses. She's like, so what? I think you are correct. What are your intentions with this monger of souls?
Well,
To destroy it, of course.
Destroy it.
if possible, I would guess, since I mean everybody likes to have their soul and would not like to have it mongered by someone or something.
Now, indeed, I can appreciate that. But, destroy it. What if it could be used for some good?
How do you think it could? How could it be used for good?
Well, that is a good question. We would have to know more about it. It appears to me that our paths may be aligned. Perhaps we are allies, though we do not realize it.
Perhaps
She looks at
we would
Grey
have to know
Petal.
more about you, Sarah.
Yeah, she says this. She says, "Perhaps we are allies, but we do not realize it." She stares intently at Grey Petal, smiles a little bit.
Great Metal points, strokes her sword.
That's intimidating.
So again, Sarah, maybe we are. We would have to know more about you. For instance,
How long have you been undead?
yeah, that was going to be my next question, honestly.
You're
Undead.
Yeah, she's undead. And so therefore, we would have to know your intentions first, obviously, before we can come to any type of accord.
She stands, actually. She says, how long have I been undead? She pauses a moment. She considers this. She looks
The
up
better
at you.
question is how have you kept your soul?
Well, technically, most undead don't have souls.
Do you have a phylactery?
That would be the one way.
I asked her.
A what?
Phylactery.
What is a phylactery?
It's a container for your soul.
What? I mean, this is very confusing.
Are you thinking you can use a soulmonger as a sort of super phylactery?
That would be awesome if you were a lich to do that. But she's obviously confused. So
I don't think she is.
let's pause for a moment. So Sarah.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
So sorry. Let's. What are you confused about?
She's undead.
Yes, she
You're
is.
undead. Sarah, are you cool with that?
Right.
Are you okay? Like, is that bad? Can we help you?
Can you help me?
Well, yeah.
This is, and she kind of looks from one of you. She looks at Grey Petal, and she looks at Alessandra, and she looks at you. She's like, "This is an interesting meeting. I have, in all my years, and there have been many, I've had no such interesting meeting quite like this. I thought perhaps we could be of help to one another, but your friends seem to be focused on other trivial details."
Well,
But I think we're all concerned about you.
we have to base the information that you can provide off of partially from your intent. And to know your intent, we would have to know.
Can we ever know one another's intent? Of course not.
Well, we can ask.
You
and
can
then
ask.
Take the results with a grain of salt.
Well, my intent is merely to help. This young elf lives only to serve your purposes. That is my intent. And she smiles at you. She says this.
As nice a sentiment as that is, and I really appreciate it, that seems a bit far-fetched, but we'll accept it for now, I suppose. So if you really wish to help, go ahead and do so. What information do you have about the Soulmonger, or any other items of note in the area.
But mostly, are you okay? Being undead and all?
Sashira wishes to know your feelings on being undead, which
That's tough. I imagine.
She looks at Sashira and clinically ignores her. And these comments on her being undead, she just completely ignores. She says, "The soulmonger." Yes.
Yes.
I believe it is something that could perhaps help all of us. You are a clearly capable group.
We certainly try.
Perhaps you could cut to your offer, and so we don't have to dance around each other so much.
My offer? I have no offer, but some information. I believe the soulmonger to be in the ruins of Omu. And the princess looks up. What? Wait, what? Omu? Yes, well, what
So-
where is this? Where in Omu is this? So, where is...
So would that, Princess, please calm down. So would that imply that, actually you can help me out, Princess, with a name. That would imply that the soulmonger is under the control of
Rasnisi.
Rasnisi. Is that correct?
Asnisi. I have heard this name, though I do not...
Former follower of Ubtao, assistant to Ubtao.
Yes. In my travels, he is he was one of the guardians of Ubtao once long
Yes,
ago. In fact,
correct.
his special talent was given control over undead.
And we
Interesting.
heard that he is currently in possession of Omu.
This all does line up, I must admit. You may be onto something. I had not considered that, actually. She seems
I'm
to-
sorry, we interrupted you. Please continue. You were saying you believe the soulmonger to be in Omu at this time.
Yes, surely. And she kind of looks, and she has these maps and scrolls and such, and she kind of looks at them and she says, "Surely, it must be in Omu. It must be in Omu. There's no other place it could be. If I were looking for the soulmonger, I would go there."
Where's Omu?
Well, we know roughly where it is, but it looks like you have maps. Perhaps we could coordinate those maps
Coordinate-
with the information that we currently possess.
What information do you possess?
We possess the information that the city of Omu is in the southwestern quadrant, between two mountain ranges, but we don't have more specific information than that.
How have you heard? How do you know of this? Omu has been hard to find.
It certainly has. We've been traveling now for a while, and we are under the impression that the city of Omu is somewhere west of the Peaks of Flame. Does this coordinate with what you know, and do you have a more specific information? I see you have maps. Can we look at them?
These maps, these are...
Because really, if I were a soulmonger, I would have put the soulmonger in the Valley of Dread, because that just sounds like a place where you would put a soulmonger. You know, Dread. Who names this thing Dread, honestly?
Valley of Dread. What the hell's a
Valley of Dread. It's in the southeast quadrant.
I'm actually sort of interested in why Sarah is living in the heart of Utah.
Well, it's a perfect fortress.
It is one of the last freestanding Earth motes, apparently. So, yeah. I mean, of course,
Not Not
There's
everybody-
also the possibility that she was trapped up here. You need to.
She says, these maps, these things, these are incomplete. This is incomplete rubbish. And she sort of crumbles up several of them and throws them on the floor. Jolts is a difficult land to get any information on. I would kill for a decent map of this land.
Well, through our travels, we might one day put together something like that. And
None of us is a
perhaps we would be
photographer.
inclined to share that with you.
Hmm.
Depending on, obviously, the heart of Uptao does move, and
Does move?
we will. That's what we've heard.
In my experience, the heart stays where it is.
Oh, maybe
You probably have better knowledge than what we've heard.
it's possible.
I probably do.
So, yeah, we might be able to find our way back. I mean, gods know that we can always use allies, and you seem like a very reasonable being. So, yeah. Once we have a decent map of the area, or at least as much as we can of it, perhaps we would come back. Or
Chris.
perhaps we could come back.
Alessandro, roll me a... Is there a skill called Deception?
There
Yes.
is
There is.
deception. I'm going to use inspiration. Oh, I guess I got to turn on an advantage first.
Or just roll again.
Or I could turn on advantage.
Yeah, that way you get 2 extra rolls.
Okay. Okay, she seems to buy this. She says yes. Well, very well. So,
any other information besides the knowledge of the soulmonger being located in Omu?
I don't know. You have given me little in the way of information. I feel like this exchange has been very one-sided. In
You
my
were
mind,
the one that offered help.
I offered that perhaps we could work together, and I feel that I have given you more than you have given me. And
Well,
she
we're
sort
the
of
ones that are actually going to go after the soulmonger, so that's certainly going to be the way that we help.
she rubs her hands together. She says, "What do you have to offer me?"
What would interest a being like yourself?
Coins?
Information.
I mean, you don't seem like a person who has very much interest in gems, jewelry, coins, that sort of thing. You seem to live a very knowledgeable but meager living here.
Yes, well, apparently.
I really like your place.
I have heard very little of what you know of this area, or what you know of the soulmonger.
That's what we know of the soulmonger.
We've told you all that we know.
The princess steps up and she says, "Tell us more of Omu. We must know of this soulmonger. How does the soulmonger come to Omu?" And the Sarah, the elf, looks at her and says, "And who is this youngling?"
Oh, she's a local that we.
The daughter of Ashara.
A local. I am Mawaksanari, queen of Omu.
Hush.
Hush! Hush! Who are you to tell me to hush? Rastalnos, who's supposed to protect me? You were supposed to be my protector. You're the reason I came into this whole thing.
Cast
And now
silence.
you're. Guess what?
Silence.
Wow.
No, I don't think I have silence actually.
Darn it.
I do.
That's great.
That would be
Walks
awesome.
in on to be quiet.
Yeah, I don't have. Oh, then I say instead of I say, please.
I'm sorry, you're such a bitch.
So the. So
when she's
the.
not- so after hush, I say, please.
The elf, she sort of saunters towards you. She says, "Ah, yes, Princess Mawaksanare, the would-be ruler of Omu, fallen kingdom. Interesting.
Fallen like their former queen.
You know, Princess, there is much about Umo that you do not know. I could teach you, were you to remain here with me."
She's kind of under our charge at the moment, and
She can't stay here.
Mawaksanare, she says, yes, no, and she looks like legitimately scared for the first time. She's like, no. She actually cowers behind Grey Petal. No, I cannot stay. And she says, "Oh, but child, perhaps you should." And she leans towards you all menacingly.
Why don't you go to the door and watch, Mary? We'll talk to the young lady.
Yeah, I'll just escort Roxanari to the door.
All right.
I'll switch into Grey Petal's wherever Grey Petal was standing. I'll just switch positions. Map wise.
All right. So the elf, she looks at you. She sort of folds her arms. She says, Very well. Very well then, adventurers. We are on the same path here. We are perhaps not allies. However, for now, perhaps the enemy of my enemy is my ally.
and
Who is
who
your
is
enemy?
your enemy?
Oh, I have no enemies. But this soulmonger, I believe, could. Well, I have great interest in finding it. I would reward you beyond your wildest dreams should you be able to find it for me. I have not yet located the city of Omu, but everything I have found points to it. Find the city. Find the soulmonger. Return it to me, and I shall make it worth your while.
Was it yours once before?
Was it mine? No. I am merely here to try to find it, but my resources are limited, and I recognize you. Though in a normal course of events, we would not be allies. In this, I believe we are. This soulmonger, it is bad business. It is bad news for the whole world. It must be taken. It must be studied. It must be contained, and we must fix it or do what we can to repair the damage that it has done.
Agreed, and we should get to doing that
I agree.
as quickly as possible.
Find the city of Omu. Find this soulmonger. Return it to me.
Very well. And I start to leave with Waxanari.
Do we have an and she looks at you, Rastalnos. So we have an agreement then.
We agree to go and find the soulmonger.
And return it to me.
Well, we'll have to see what condition the soulmonger is in when we find it, and then
Hush!
we'll determine our next course of action.
I care little for you. I speak to the tiefling.
Hey, don't be rude. I know what you're trying to do, and you will deal with me.
She patently ignores Alessandra, and she stares piercingly at Rastanos.
Who's not looking?
Not looking?
I'm walking out. I'm leaving.
I guess if you're not going to discuss things with me any longer, I guess our time here is done. It was a pleasure to meet you, Sarah.
I'm not convinced you're going to bring the soulmonger back to me.
Nor am I. We do. We're not convinced of your intentions.
Well then, I suppose we leave on worse terms than we met. Good luck, adventurers.
And I'm sorry for that, Sarah.
Good luck, adventurers. I hope that you succeed in finding the soulmonger. I shall be eagerly awaiting the results of that search. And she smiles at you as you walk out.
Okay.
All right. So we leave.
Yeah, you can leave.
We continue our flight path to the Oracle in Oralunga.
Hey, cut it out.
Princess, you may want to be quiet about announcing that you're the Queen of Omu. Some people would probably kill you for it, like probably Sarah.
What? Sarah, she was just a simple elf. I am the Queen of Omu. Why must I hide? Why should I hide? I should be proud of my heritage.
Yes.
How will
But
we
don't need to announce it to the world.
How will
But
we
Lover-
convince others to follow us if we do not announce it to the world?
Lover, until we have established your position, nobody wants to follow you. They want to kill you.
Lover. Oh, now I'm your lover again? Oh, yes, I see how it is. Rastanos. I'm your lover. I'm not your lover. You'll protect me. You won't protect me. I see how it is. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Yes, this is ridiculous. I have never scorned you a single time.
No, but I see how you look at Alessandra. Every time she flies by you, you can't help but look at her boobs. She has bigger boobs than me. I suppose you like that, don't you? Don't you?
That's
you.
actually, who looks at her boobs every time she flies by.
Well,
Don't think I haven't noticed.
She does have very nice boobs, but still,
Thanks.
you don't have to stare at them all the time.
Right, I don't.
But you do. Every time she walks by, you look at her boobs, and then when she's flying, you look at her butt, and then you're just always staring at her like she's some kind of like super hottie, and has stuff that I just don't have.
Not yet. You might develop.
You think? Really? You think so? I might. Really? I might. Would I?
Sure.
Would I?
It's entirely possible.
And she like gives you the big one, the down up. It's like, oh no, I can never be as beautiful as you, Alessandra. Oh my goodness,
Well.
It's terrible. I don't blame Rastanos. You're so beautiful. How could he not stare at you? I mean, me. Look at me, my puny, pathetic self. Who could love me? I'm terrible. No one could ever love me. She flies off crying.
Okay, good. So as long as she flies off crying in the direction of the Oracle of Oralunga, that's all good. Otherwise, we'll have to lasso her.
Maybe you might want to go make up with her for
Great title.
professing your love.
Well, no.
I just did that.
No, you didn't.
You just did that.
That's what I just did.
Wait.
I require a perception check.
I missed. I
Can
heard.
roll persuasion on Rastalnos to realize that apparently things might not be. He might not be coming across as.
I heard Grey
loving as I
Petal.
expected.
I heard Grey Petal say she's gonna go comfort the princess. I heard Rastalnos say, if she's going the right way, fine. Otherwise, I will lasso her. Now,
No, some of this has to be out of character comedy. Some of it can be in character. Some of it can be out of character.
It's a gray area, sure. I'm just trying to sort of figure out.
So a lot of my comments that I make out of character, which that one was, need to be taken as such. That's a cool mug you got.
It's awesome, actually.
I still think Rash should be doing a much more definite cool mug. But you should be trying a little harder if you're completely in love with this girl.
Maybe this is Rask's love.
That's Rask.
That's rough love.
Rask stated.
It's like, I don't like you, love. Fuck you. If you do what I want, great. If not, fuck off, love.
Yeah, can I try to persuade Rask that maybe he should go about this a little different? Or do I have to role play that out?
There's no rules to change a player's whatever.
Rask, you may want to consider that she's a little younger than you, and she may require a little more hand-holding than what you're doing at this time.
She won't even hold my hand right now, Rafina.
Well, she's a little mad at you, but if you keep trying,
for no good reason.
Well, you seem to have hurt her feelings a little.
By offering her a ring, I offered her a ring, and she
almost
got
in pity.
Pity.
That's sort of as a female, I can tell you what it sort of felt like.
You girls are so weird, especially the humans.
Well, I'm just telling you. I mean, if you're going to woo the girl and you love her, then you just got to get used to humans. And this is sort of the way we think. You really need to just tell her you're sorry. That I know you didn't do anything wrong, but that's okay. You just got to tell her you're sorry, that you love her, and you just
tell her you're sorry. Tell her all the crazy feels.
All right.
Yeah, you just need to stop.
Yeah.
Great Power will say to Waxanara that she is the queen of Omu, or to be the queen of Omu, but part of being the queen is you have the option of when and where to deliver information, and that she should think about that in the future. She should not give away that power without getting something in return. But just think about that.
Interesting. Hey, could you roll me a persuasion check for that?
Yeah. Right here. There we go. Persuasion. 19.
Ooh. She says, yes, I see. So having power is important, but when you display that power, that is equally as important. Great Petal, I am lucky to have you as a counselor. The gods have been kind to me to bring you to me. Thank you.
Happy to serve, my princess.
Let's see. So we're continuing west, northwest. Where is player's map?
Can you put us where the heart of Ubtao is, please? Approximately.
Let's see, heart of Ubtao is. Where are you guys now?
I was also kind of wondering, where did that heart seem to be moving at all, or was it stationary?
It spins. It seems to be stationary, but it spins around. Basically, it sort of rotates around, but in a stationary position. I need a.
Were we able to discern anything about the rotational speed relative to something like, does it rotate once per day or something like that?
If it isn't moving, does it matter?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. You guys are about.
I just want to know how to color my dreams.
It's something like there. Heart of Ubtao is around there. Maybe there.
Around there. I don't see there.
Yeah, it just came up on the map.
There it is. I got it.
Okay.
Let's see. Uptown.
What the hell? Ask Azaka. Does she know what Mbala is?
Umbala?
Yeah,
What's Umbala? I don't even know what
On the
Umbala
map.
is.
it's on the map. It's a big black dot on the map near Orlunga.
But somebody had a quest to go there.
Not Mbala.
No.
The quest was to find Nangalore and Orlanga, which
Well, that
would
was
be
my
Nangalore.
quest. That was my quest, but there were other quests.
No, I don't think I've ever heard anything about Mbala. Now we did have a thing about Vom or Vorn, which is on the map. That's that Golem.
Oh yeah, there's a quest for that. Vorn is Rastanlos' quest actually.
Wait, what?
No,
Vorn.
that was from Otanga.
Mm-hmm.
But that was Ras. I thought that was a whole party.
Well, I
See,
mean, sure, but yeah.
the Rask had the quest to find
The two places for the dragon.
Nangalore and World.
Orlanga.
Oh yeah, to put them on a map. True. Yeah.
Yes. So we've been to Nangalore, and now we're going to Orlunga.
They're pretty much in sequence. Then we've got to get to Omu, it sounds like.
Ambala's pretty close. We could explore it.
I'd rather hit the Oracle first.
Well, yeah. Go to Orlanga, then we can go.
Well, I guess we might as well hit the Oracle, and then we can go to Mbala if need be, depending on what it is. The Oracle can tell us that, I'm sure. If we have something the Oracle needs, which is probably, knowing our luck, in Mbala.
Good point. Or worse, whatever's in Ambala needs something from the Oracle. Ugh.
No, more than likely the Oracle wants something on the other side of the frickin' map. Yeah, now that you found Orlunga, I need you to go to what is it, Shulku, on the bottom of the map. And then I'll tell you some information that might help you. Don't worry, it's only 24 days of hard travel in the jungle to get there, but it's okay.
Let's see.
That
All
all
right, so
seems fine.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah. So you guys continue on, flying through the let's see, second day continues on. Lots of rain this day.
Every night, do a sending spell to Ashara.
All right, well, we haven't gotten the second night yet. So
Okay.
Second day continues, and the rain's actually pretty hard today. And as the rain comes in, you guys sort of, well, I don't know. Do you try to ground yourself? The princess cannot fly in the rain. She's like, this is absurd. We must land during the rain.
I'm sort of that theory. I don't want to be in the middle of a rainstorm with potential lightning in the sky.
Yeah,
You're the
remember
safest you could ever be in the sky.
Yeah.
Well, remember
Intracloud lightning, guys. Intracloud lightning.
remember
I'm not
that
sure if we all know that, though.
in the jungle it it rains a lot. And by the second day,
Oh, let me. Could we fly above the rain clouds?
Can we go around it?
No.
you probably can try to fly above rain clouds, yeah, or around it, yeah, sure. I mean, this is the thing that you realize, you sort of know this already, but it really brings it home when you're flying, is that this is scattered showers, right? So there are rain clouds that move, as far as rain clouds go, fairly quickly all around the island of Cholt, and so there are these big rain clouds, and I mean, you can fly all around them, but it would probably drastically slow your, if you're trying to go in a direction, trying to avoid rain clouds would really, really slow you down.
I mean, is it actually, will it? We can only move 8 hours a day, technically.
I do like Gerald's idea of like trying to see if we could like fly straight up and bypass the clouds.
That's interesting to try to fly at the rain.
You sail at it all the time.
Well, as a flying person, right? Like when it's raining.
I got a shield. I don't have a problem with this.
We charge into battle regularly,
Well, as a sailor, you would know that there's always a counterclockwise rotation in the northern hemisphere
Wow.
uh, around the base of a cloud, and so when you want to sail around an isolated shower, you actually go close to it until the wind picks up and the pressure and temperature drops, and then you turn right and you sail around it, and you actually get a little bit of a lift from the cloud, from the cell itself, and sail faster around it, so you don't lose any time with the extra distance.
Does that matter which side of the equator you're on?
It does, yes.
Well, doesn't matter. The correct answer is: do we get better going around it or grounding ourselves?
But the point is, we would know which side of the equator we're on in Forgotten Realms, and we would also be able to feel which direction the wind is blowing, because you don't just turn right because you're told to turn right. You turn in the direction that the wind is blowing when you get close to the center of the cloud.
That makes more sense. Okay. That's great. The princess wants no part of this whole flying at the rain thing. She needs to rest while the rain is falling. It's stinging. It hurts.
This is part of being an adventurer, honey.
It's hard. I don't want to be an adventurer. I want to avoid this rain. This is absurd. Why would we fly at the rain? It stings. It hurts.
Because we only have 4 days.
And then we're walking in all of the junk on the ground. The slush, the muck, the gross, all the wonderful mud that'll be all over your clothes after the rain when we're trudging through it.
There's always mud in the jungle. It's the jungle.
When we're no longer able to fly, you're going to wish we had flown farther each day.
Trust us, we've been in the jungle trudging through all of this. This is a walk in the park.
All right, somebody make a persuasion check for the princess. We can do a party check. Oh, jeez. Okay, fine, but this is the stupidest thing I've ever done. Fly at the rain. Oh yes, it's raining. Here's an idea. Let's fly at the rain. Yeah, sure. Okay. Oh, ow! The rain stings while I'm flying at it. Ow!
Here,
ow!
borrow a shield. You can put it in front of you.
Oh.
So Rastanos flies in front of her to try to keep like the rain angle to try to vector it so that the rain is hitting her the least.
Oh, so now you're gonna protect me again? Really? You say you can't protect me, and now you do protect me. Which is it, Restalnos? Are you protecting me or not, Restalnos?
Would you prefer if I move?
She has a shield up. It's like, I don't even. This is. Green Petal. Why are men so impossible?
Remember parables 101 through 250? That covers 70% of why men are absolutely just nuts.
This is fun. And she puts a shield up, and she actually persists on. She moves on with the shield that takes the sting of the rain off of her. This is madness, but I suppose this is useful. Fine.
Fortunately, that's part of being with this princess.
You continue, West. Let's see. Second day. All right. So.
Hey, Roy, it's 10. It's 11 for you.
I guess that's a stopping place. End of the second day of flight.
Okay, fine. Shit. Okay, fine. So, flying is easy. Damn it. Okay, yeah. I mean, we have to stop. That's fine. No worries. Okay, so we'll pick up next week. So next week we'll need more discussion. I'll figure out randomly who is going to control the princess next week. Hopefully the person next week who controls the princess will remember that the princess is a 17-year-old girl who is the future queen of Omu. We know that her she has a strength of character that should not be underestimated. We also know that she is naive and very jealous of Rastaldos. So hopefully those sort of ideas will sort of continue on from week to week.
And
Next
maybe pregnant.
next week I am in Mexico. So
Perfect. Perfect. So next week we'll need someone to play Rastaldos and the princess.
So I think we should just not have a game next week. I think we should just cancel.
No, we
the
can't.
segment.
Our fans insist. Look at our followers. Our followers are cheering. They say we must have a game.
I can't see our followers. I can only see this all ending like completely incorrectly.
Well, I'll tell you what. The same person who plays Rastaldos will not play the princess. Well, I will at least ensure that.
I wouldn't both of them.
No. That's no fun.
Oh, it would be fun.
I mean, maybe, but then that person's playing 3 characters, and that's just too many. So, 2 people next week will play 2 characters, and I can't wait to see how this goes. It should be a lot of fun, actually.
Did we get any experience?
Yeah, we should.
Oh,
we
shit,
should
yes.
get experience for the encounter with the elf and the encounter with like getting out of Kir Sabal should have been something.
Yeah, we didn't get the completion experience.
Oh, and I don't know if
we
anybody
got
got.
the completion.
Did we get inspiration for playing last week? Because this week maybe not so much.
No.
for last.
Everybody, every single character should have inspiration from last week. Absolutely.
So then I'll put an inspiration point on.
All right.
Let's see how much. Let's see. Let me check. Actually, the encounter with
Not to mention all the
Sarah.
good advice I get from Roxana.
And I journaled for a change. So
The encounter with Sarah is
Oh, you
actually a big
did?
deal.
He did.
Yes. He
Oh,
jumped
yeah.
like a mad fiend.
I
on,
didn't
Dis-
see it.
on Discord only. I didn't post it on Obsidian Portal.
Oh well, that's why.
Excuse me.
So I need to upload it to Obsidian Portal.
Yeah, just give us a heads up somewhere.
All right, it's on Discord.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, it was books.
Yeah, would have loved to see that.
yeah, I wrote all that at the same time. At the same time, I was having my whole argument with Rafina.
Well, that's great.
So I was trying to shift gears. Like it was really weird because I'd write an entry of where we are in the process of Rastano's thought, and in his journal and his thoughts about love and rejection and all this stuff. And then I'd click over and argue and I'd have to be completely indignant and angry with Rafina for the way she was slandering me and then shift back into like songs of love, shift into angry, and it's kind of a lot like real marriage actually. So
Wow.
Truth on that.
I don't know.
yeah.
Be glad.
Let's see. But I gotta add in. Let's see.
And don't forget that does Azaka and Locks get experience?
For some of this, yeah.
I don't think Azaka gets experience.
Yeah, she
What?
does.
We gave her a vote.
She gets a vote, but I don't think she
Actually, any NPC we use that does anything with us gets his full share. That's the rules.
Wow.
It's written.
Okay.
Whether they can advance or not, basically they suck a full share. And not your share, a full share of the whole party.
I like your point that it's actually like a penalty to have NPCs, Gerald.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it kind of keeps you from like hiring 30 people to go and clear a dungeon with you.
No, I like that. I like that concept a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you can just earthquake it and then spend 30 retainers to just dig up all your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had earthquake, John.
That doesn't sound hypothetical right now.
No, we're you
Been
have
there,
it,
done
right?
it.
It's tucked up somewhere. Hold to your clothes.
So I have to make another.
Was there like something before earthquake, like
Yeah, you
like
got
geyser?
you've got a melt stone or soften stone or move earth or something.
Man, move earth. That's not very much of a combat spell.
So are we switching to the post game show now, or are we?
Yeah.
We're still in the game.
I think we were getting experience.
Yeah. I'm calculating. And that would be so.
Can't possibly be enough to matter.
Yeah, we're never reaching 6th.
No.
Well,
Not at this lesson, but yeah.
All right, so one more quest. Actually, I'm going to add this as a quest.
Oh,
And
by the
then
way,
next
thanks
week
for
we're
the
going to
ring,
start.
Allie.
Sure, no problem. Just about everybody gets a ring.
No problem. None at all. No problem.
I've already started carving the next one.
Who's the next lucky soul?
I haven't decided yet. I might just because I would have already started carving it after I finished Rask's, so it's not Mwaxanare.
Mwaxanare, yeah.
So it's probably going to be Rafina.
All right, there's hand waving XP. I'm gonna think about this and figure out how we're gonna do this because with a little of a character, there are encounters that you guys we sort of hand wave that may be significant. I don't know about that, but obtaining the gift of flight is a significant quest reward. That's actually a 6,000 experience quest reward.
Holy crap.
Divided by 5, so but
Still, that's a lot.
yeah. Meeting oh shit. Hang on. I gotta edit. What is this?
We're not going to break 6 tonight, but if quest rewards are going like this, I think we're going to do pretty good because we're going to hit our Lunga, which is another quest.
Well, quest rewards, I want quests to be significant, right? Like, I don't want to have to hack and slash through everything. I think quests should be a big deal. So,
especially if you can finish it without hacking and slashing.
exactly. I think that's...
We had a social hack and slash, I'd say.
That's absolutely...
Yeah, we had the most dangerous encounter yet.
You're it.
Us against us.
Oh, shit.
Doesn't get harder than that.
All right, so but I can't, Anyway, all right, so let's see. I have get the flight $6,000 and getting through Sarah without combat. I'm gonna give $5,000 for that. So we'll award those. Yeah.
That Sarah was supposed to
Look at that.
That was Sarah.
So that
Yeah.
levels us.
That's
You don't
14
understand.
versus 6.
Is that right? Oh,
that
shit.
leveled us.
That leveled us.
Well,
You didn't divide Sarah combat with Moaxanari though.
No, I mean I didn't because she didn't take really a role in that. So
Okay. I was gonna say you could take you could take 97 off and we won't be leveled. If
Or
you
don't.
wanted to- If you
No,
want us to stay.
I think that's fine. That's fine. No, I mean, no. XP is XP, right? You guys are fulfilling quests, and it's I don't want this to be a thing where I have to kill shit to get experience, right? Like you can go and you can encounter some unimaginably powerful undead creature that Grey Petal discovered, and get out of that without having to fight it out. I mean, I would have been glad to fight that out, but you guys clearly didn't want to. I think that's a smart plan, and that should be rewarded. So that's quest XP. That's fine. Gift of flights is a set reward. You guys did that whole thing, and you achieved that quest. So yeah, I want you guys to be rewarded for questing and having these just like in any video game, right? You get a quest, and when you complete that quest, you get a reward. However you complete the quest, maybe you stealth it, maybe you bludgeon it, maybe you whatever, it's fine. So yeah, so congratulations. Looks like 6th level for the party.
I think truthfully that Azaka should have got part of the experience for the gift of flight,
She should have. You're right.
and I think Mwaxanari should have actually got part of the
just applied.
Hey,
experience.
John, keep talking. John, I love it when you
So
talk.
this is done. So you guys take this XP. So this week we sort of introduced this new experience system. Next week, I'm gonna have other players playing some NPCs. We'll see how that goes. Maybe it sucks. Maybe it doesn't. Well, we'll see. For now, congratulations on your level, and you guys do the level up thing. I'll leave Fantasy Grounds open for you guys to do whatever level up stuff you got to do. If you need it during the week, you let me know. Otherwise, we're gonna pick up next week with the party continuing on west to find the Oracle of Oralunga. Until
I'm gonna
then,
do my level up tomorrow during the day.
you can level up anytime you want. Until you level up, we're gonna say, hey.
I just told you I'm going to do my level up tomorrow during the day.
Thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Until next week, nerd.
Out.
How do I turn this thing off? Wait, hold on. Is this off?
Is this
it off?
thing off?
Oh, is this thing on? How do we?